Hey there, this is Kyle, the guy you had exchanged contact information with earlier. You're the person in charge of my training, right? Kelsey? Well, do you have a second to chat?
Good evening, Kyle. Right now it's a bit past working hours, but I'll be willing to respond to you this one time. Did you need to ask me something?
Sure. I have a complaint to make.
A complaint? Today was your first day coming into the office, so what kind of complaint could you have?
Well, here you go. I want someone else besides you.
Someone else beside me.
The CEO, Mr. Connors, well, he told me that he'd make sure the woman in charge of my training would be both sexy and young. At least that's what he was telling me. I'm not saying you're not sexy or anything, because there's still some curvature to you, but I want someone closer to my age than that of my grandpa's age. You are not what I wanted, so you need to change with someone else. How about that girl 2 seats down from me? She looks like the perfect type of girl that would be able to get my attention. Well, there you go. Get that girl to take your place, please.
You hold it right there, Kyle.
Huh?
I understand that you may not be fond of me training you, but there's no way you can easily ask for someone to take my place now, as we've already started your training.
What? Why can't you just get someone else?
Because I was asked by the CEO personally to come and be your trainer. And unless he is the one telling me to change with someone else, I'm not budging. So unless something serious comes up that gets in our way, you're stuck with me until the very end of your training.
What? Seriously? All I'm asking is for you to let that cute girl take your place.
If you're talking about Lexi, she will be going on short-term leave come next week, so she cannot be your trainer.
Huh? Short-term leave? Is she pregnant or something?
That's right. Right now, it might be hard to tell since her belly isn't too large yet, but she has been feeling worse and worse coming into the office, so she had asked to work from home. Basically, she's on maternity leave and won't be coming back to work for the next 3 or 4 months.
What the heck? Not only is she married, but she's also pregnant? I thought I had just found the perfect girl to flirt with at work and everything. And that's why she didn't really respond to me well earlier when I went and asked her out.
Her husband just so happens to be the son of this company's biggest shareholder, so I would stay away from her if I were you, Kyle.
What? Alright then. Let's just forget about everything I just said there. Jeez, man. I was joking around. Aha.
Yeah, anyway. Tomorrow, would you please try to come into work on time?
Huh?
Today was your first day of work, yet you came in later than asked, and didn't give any of us a call to let us know you would be late. Do you think that's a very good thing to be doing on your first day? I understand that in certain situations, there are emergencies that cause one to be late. But from what you told me, you had just overslept. And that's not a good sign of what's to come to you. So, please, try to be better tomorrow.
What is this? You're upset over something as tiny as that?
Something as tiny as this? You were late to work on your first day, and didn't even have a good reason for it.
I am family with the CEO.
Yes, I'm very much aware of that. And?
The next time I have to hear you being sassy with me, well, we'll see what happens to your place in this company. So watch your tongue, Kelsey.
Kyle, I believe that I told you before that if you're going to be late, I would like you to inform us of that, correct?
Huh? What? It's you again? I'm just running a little late and you're already going on for my ear about it? Shut up. You need to get laid or something.
I think we need to do something about the way you talk and behave around me.
Huh?
If we don't change the way you act right now, then when the time comes that we have customers coming here for visits and you're tasked with going to see them, there will be huge consequences.
Huh?
Now tell me, when are you going to be coming into work today?
I can come there anytime I'd like.
No, you cannot. Just tell me what time you think you can be and by, and I won't escalate this situation any further.
Shut the hell up, you old hag.
Kyle, you have been coming in late to work 3 days in a row now.
You again? Seriously, you start being such an annoying woman way too early in the morning. Everyone is late to work, all right? Why do you always have to dig into me about it?
Everyone, you say?
There are those two from General Affairs who are always coming in at 10 a.m. every day. Why aren't those two getting into any trouble for being late?
That's because those two are part-time workers here.
Huh? Part-timers?
They both are scheduled to work here 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. during the week, and so neither of those two are coming in late. There also happens to be part-time workers here coming in from 11 to 4 p.m. and 9 until 2 p.m. And of course, when they are running late, they call to let the company know. There is not a single person in this company who just shows up whenever they want to, without letting anyone at the office know.
What? What the heck? I don't think you can get away with chewing one of the CEO's family members out like this.
And what are you going to do about it?
I'm going back home. Today I'm taking the day off.
What?
And my reason for having to take the day off is this. Due to your horrible behavior towards me, I've been hurt and need to go rest. There. I've told you I'm not coming in. Are you happy?
Excuse me, Kyle.
And later on, telling the CEO about how rude you've been to me, and that something needs to be done about you. I hope you're prepared for that. Ha ha! Excuse me, Kelsey. Do you have a moment to talk with me?
Hello, Mr. Connors. I have time.
For the past few days, you've been the one in charge of training Kyle, correct?
Yes, that's me.
I've heard from the department manager that there have been some issues between you two. I would like to ask you a few more questions in person about how he's doing right now. So would you please be able to stop by my office on your way out of the office today? I really want to know how things have been going these past 3 days.
Understood.
I'm sorry for having to contact you like this. I'm sure you don't find it very professional of me to be contacting you through text, and I bet most of the other employees here would not like that either.
You don't have to worry, Mr. Connors. And thank you for reaching out to me. This is the reason you and I exchanged our phone numbers in the first place, so please do not feel as though it's wrong of you to text me when you have something to tell me.
Thank you, Kelsey.
Now I should be able to come into your office here sooner rather than later, since I'm almost finished with my work for today. Give me about 30 minutes, please.
Sounds good. I'll be waiting. Yo, Kelsey, I'm getting a settlement for you now.
What was that?
I thought about this for a long while as I was riding on the train back home. You have to be screwed in the head chewing one of the CEO's family members out like that. And because of that, you really hurt my feelings. So you're fired. And you'll be paying me $150,000 in damages.
I was wondering what you were going to say to me this time. Unfortunately, the CEO of this company is a bit more mature than you, and he will not ever fire me over something as ridiculous as your claim.
It's because the CEO is so smart and mature that he'll be siding with me on this one. Are you ready for this, Kelsey? I'm not just the new boy in town, but a relative of the CEO. And that means I sit right next to the CEO on the company ladder. I'm his only family in the company, making me the next in charge. And I'm pretty sure that soon he'll be asking me to take his place as the next CEO. Therefore, I have every right to fire you when I want to. And then, I will use one of his company's lawyers to take you to court and get that settlement. To sum it all up for you, this is the law of the jungle. That means, including you, must bow down to me, or else you will be killed off. If you understand what I'm saying, then this means you're fired, and you owe me $150,000.
Is that right, Kyle? Understood. Then I will hand in my resignation.
Oh, gonna suck having to wake up tomorrow and not have a job again, right?
I have been able to accrue quite a lot of PTO from this company so far, so I will be using that for this next week or so. Which means I won't technically be leaving until Friday.
What? So you're not gonna be gone tomorrow?
Like most other situations, when someone puts in their letter of resignation, they are putting in their 2 weeks and don't have to leave immediately.
Well, whatever. And just to forewarn you, you're not getting any money for leaving this company. No package or nothing. Idiot!
Currently, Mr. Connors is watching over this conversation we've had.
What? Kelsey! Yo, answer my dang calls. I've been calling and messaging you so many times now.
What? Is this you, Kyle?
You have time to check your dang phone. So why haven't you been doing so this whole time?
I noticed that my phone was lighting up a couple of times, but now that I had a look at it, 500 missed calls? That's a little scary, Kyle. Should I be worried?
I had to because you wouldn't respond to me.
I'm sorry. This whole morning I was very busy and did not have my phone on me as it was in my desk.
Huh? Busy?
You heard from the CEO already, right? I'm going to be changing jobs to one of the sister companies to this one and will not be coming back here afterwards.
That's right, I know about that.
So I've been talking to that company and making sure that I have everything ready for the move over there.
What is going on with you? How come you haven't been fired yet after you were just chewing out a member of the CEO's family? And why the hell are you able to move over to that sister company which is much larger than this one? Why?
I was actually supposed to be moving into that company about a month ago or so.
What?
And while I was getting myself all set up to leave here, Mr. Connors came to me about something. He told me that he was having to take one of his problematic family members and would need help with them. So he asked me to become the trainer and said that I'd have to wait a month or so before I could leave to go to the sister company.
Problematic family member?
But considering that you have not been able to take your responsibility for your new job here, Mr. Connors has decided that he has no other choice but to let you go.
What?
Which now means that I no longer need to train you anymore and can't begin my move to the sister company. We had that talk a few days ago, the CEO and I. So there you are, Kyle. Do you feel that you're all caught up now?
Why am I being let go? Me? Family of the CEO and the next CEO of this company?
Perhaps you should be asking someone like the CEO that question and not me.
What?
I will let him know right now that you are wanting to have the talk with him. So please, give me a few minutes.
Kyle. Hey, you know that it's the wrong choice having me fired, right? The reason I came here in the first place is because I'm next in line to become the CEO, right? If you were put at the top of this company ever, it would only be a matter of days before the company went completely under. What? I've heard from your dad that when you were working for him, he had to talk to you 3 times about how you'd be fired for the way you acted in the workplace. 3 times. This all has been talked about throughout the entire family, and we now all call you the problematic child. Well, before you were fired from your dad's company, he came to me asking if I'd be able to take you on, and maybe even put you in your place. He came to me crying and begging for me to take you, Kyle. That's when I finally gave in and told him he could send you my way, and I'd figure out something to do with you. Really? I didn't want you coming to my company after all the things I'd heard. But I am your uncle, and so I have just as much responsibility for you as the rest of the family. I thought that at first there would be some hope for you if you got the proper training and were put in line. But it seems that your attitude is too strong, even for the best of my employees. And now, I regret taking you on. I never thought that you would come into my company thinking you'd become the next CEO after me and could act however you wanted, coming in late your first 3 days here. But what? I'm the next person in line. And I just said you were not. I'll have you know that the next person in line to becoming the CEO would never be late to work. What? I really thought that by putting someone like Kelsey in charge of you, she'd be able to knock you into shape with all her warnings and everything. Ugh, you don't have to come here to work anymore. Well, wait, that's not good. If I lose my job here, You were in debt with your dad, right? Before this, you had gone out with a married woman and her husband asked for a settlement from you. You cried that you had no clue she was married, but there were texts from conversations with her saying you wish she would just leave her husband and take you. You were also found stalking a college student, and she asked for a settlement from you. You tried to fight that as well, but there was video evidence of you on campus following her back to her dorm room. And since it was on the first floor, you would sit outside her window at night tapping on it. In the end, your dad was left having to pay around $60,000 to those two people for what you had done, because you had no money at all after spending it on things like the strip club and video games. I know a lot about you, Kyle, so don't think that you have anything else that you can say to me that will change my decision here. But please, let me stay in your company so that I can make all that money back. I promise after I've paid my dad, I will leave your company and go find somewhere else to work. Not happening. Why not? When you came to work your first day, you repeatedly asked Lexi to go to a hotel near here with you. Wait. I had no idea at the time that her husband is the son of the company's biggest shareholder. That has nothing to do with what I'm saying. The problem here is that she did not want to go out with you and told you many times, yet you proceeded to ask her over and over again. I could not allow someone as dangerous as you to stay in my company, since I had plenty of people that I need to protect. Then from now on, I'll take my job seriously. I won't talk with any of the female employees anymore, and I will no longer bring anything up about being the next CEO in line. So please. Now, allow me to introduce you to your next place of work. Huh? Kelsey was the one who recommended this place. Now, I wasn't so sure it would be a good fit for you at first, but then again, you haven't been working very well in an office-based environment. So listen, this is your very last chance at staying a decent member of the society. If you cannot even behave yourself well here, then you are going to be screwed and will have to figure things out on your own. What? Huh? You will be moving into a dormitory, so please get all your things ready to move by the end of the day. I've asked the owner of that company to go and pick you up from your house, so expect them to be here soon in a black SUV. What the hell? What company? You'll know when you get there. I'm scared to go there without knowing anything. I'm sure you are. Good luck, nephew.
The company that I recommended the CEO send Kyle to happens to be a granite mining company out in the middle of the mountains, where he'll have to stay for 6 months at a time and will work hard. It just so happens that Kyle knew the owner of that company, as they are close friends of his family. And when he pulled up to the housing area, the company's dorms in the black SUV, he came out to see them, waiting for him, and then he screamed. It was so loud of a scream that it made people's ears ring. And once Kyle had been brought to his room, some of the other employees came to check on him, and that's where he began to learn that this company hired a lot of ex-convicts with the goal of turning their lives around. They all asked Kyle what crimes he had committed before, only for them to learn that he was sent there for being a massive brat. A little while after starting his new job there, I heard about how Kyle has been tasked with one of the worst jobs in the company, and that's having to carry chunks of granite back and forth between the crushers for 8 hours a day. From what Mr. Connors told me after he had let go of Kyle, he contracted to work for that company for 3 years in order for him to pay off the debt to his father. All I can say to that is, good luck, Kyle. As for myself, I was able to leave Mr. Connor's company now too long after Kyle was let go, and now I'm working for the sister company, which is much larger and a lot more strict as well. The CEO here happens to be Mr. Connor's aunt and is soon expecting to leave her position as the CEO really soon so that she can retire. A few good words had been put in for me about my accomplishments before, and about how hard I had to work with Kyle and try to train him for 3 days. With all of those things combined, the CEO had asked me if I'd like to take her position when she retires. And, well, we'll just have to wait and see if I want that kind of responsibility or not. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought about this story.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Hi, Danielle! Guess who this is? Carla? Bingo! Long time no speak! How are you? Did you know we haven't spoken for like 3 years? How have you been? I've been just fine until now. I didn't think you'd ever have the nerve to message me again. What do you want? Jeez, Danielle, it's nice to talk to you too. No need to be so harsh to your baby sister. Oh yeah? I can only think of reasons why I should be harsh to you. You couldn't have possibly forgotten, have you? Hold on, let me think for a second. Oh, wait. Are you still mad that I stole your husband from you? You do know that it's been like 3 years since Matthew left you for me, right? Don't you think it's about time you've moved on? We paid you a very generous severance package too, remember? So why hold a grudge? I'm sorry, we? That was Matthew paying me the consolation money. You didn't pay a cent! I should have just sued you personally too. Oh, come on. Besides, what's his is mine and mine is his. It wouldn't have made a difference anyway. You got the cash you asked for in the end. So you should let it go already and just move forward. Oh, don't you worry, Carla, honey. I have moved on. A long, long time ago. I really don't give a damn about you two. Yeah, right, Danielle. You don't have to act so strong. No, I mean it. I don't care about you or Matthew. I'm acting dry right now because I'm simply not interested in having a conversation with you. Nothing good would come out of it anyway. So did you need me for something? If not, then I'm done talking to you. Bye. Hold your horse, sister. I do have something to tell you. In fact, I have many things. What is it? Well, first and foremost, Matthew and I have officially tied the knot. I see. After he left you 3 years ago, we took it nice and slow to deepen our bond. We traveled and experienced all kinds of things together. It was fantastic! We figured it was time to start our family, so we got married 3 months ago. And on top of getting married, we started a brand new life in the center of the city. Okay, sounds great. Hey, I'm not done. This is the best part. So, we moved in today to our new condo. And guess where we're living? I don't know. I don't care. But I'm sure you're going to tell me anyway. Oh my god, you're not going to believe it! We're living in the same building as you! However, the biggest difference is that we're living on the top floor, lol. Come again? You moved into the same condo? On the 30th floor? Yes! Isn't that amazing? I know you live on a floor without the view of the city, right? It's such a bummer you don't get the gorgeous view this building has. I think I'm literally at the peak of my life right now. You know, it was completely spontaneous of Matthew. One day he just told me that we were moving. I never imagined that we'd move to a top room of a skyscraper. Wait, are you sure we're talking about the same building? I've been in and out frequently today and I didn't see any moving truck. I can usually spot one when someone's moving. Oh, we were super quick. We've always been minimalist, so we didn't have much luggage. I recall both of you having loads of stuff, but okay. Wait though, how do you know I live here? I never told you my address when I moved in. Matthew said he found out randomly when he first came here with the agent. He said he saw you by the elevators and saw it stop on your floor. I see. But it doesn't matter how we found out. All that matters is that we're rich and happy and you're not, lol. I beg your pardon. What the hell is that supposed to mean? You know, I'm living on the top floor of one of the best residencies in the city. With the man I took from you. It can't get any better than that, don't you think? I've proven myself that I am so much better than you. You think you're better than me because you live on the upper floor? And because you stole my ex-husband? Of course! Don't you know there's a hierarchy among the residents? Don't you live on, what, the 2nd floor? That is so low, lol. I, on the other hand, am on the 30th floor. There's a 28th floor difference! I chose to live on the 2nd floor because I don't like heights, which I'm sure you're aware of. And the top floor is expensive for the views, yes. But I wouldn't call that a hierarchy. You shouldn't say such things because it makes you look low, actually. The residents here have class, so they don't think like that. Sure, whatever, loser. Lol. FYI, we live in 3001. If you want a piece of our new, astonishing life, feel free to swing by. Or maybe we'll see you around in the lobby. Holler if you see us. If you can, that is. Lol. Huh? 3001? That can't be. My friend lives there. Carla, are you listening? Hello? Hey, Eli. Sorry to bother you. I hope you're off work by now, but if not, can you please reply at your earliest convenience? It's kinda urgent.
Oh, hi, Danielle. What's up? Is everything okay?
Well, I hope so. This is actually about your apartment.
My apartment? What do you mean?
I understand that you've been temporarily relocated, but you do intend to return, right?
Yeah, I do. 3001 is my apartment.
Like, you haven't sold the apartment or anything? Or perhaps rented it out?
No, I plan to live in the same apartment after my project is done here, so I'm keeping 3001. And I never rented it out because I wanted to stay in my own apartment when I'm back in town, which is not rare, but my relatives should be house sitting from time to time.
I see.
Why? Is everything okay?
Well, I don't know how else to tell you, so I guess I'll just tell you everything I know. My sister Carla is married to a man named Matthew, who happens to be my ex-husband. She messaged me today to tell me that she moved into one of the apartments of the top floor of our building, and she told me that her apartment is 3001.
What? There must be some mistake. That is not possible. Did she simply give you the wrong number?
I went to check it out myself, and there is certainly someone inside.
What the heck?
Okay, so clearly you don't know what's happening either.
Absolutely not. I never allowed anyone to move into my place while I'm away.
This relative of yours, may I ask who exactly?
He's my cousin from my mother's side. His name is Henry Smith.
Henry? Oh, wow.
Do you know him?
Yeah, I do. He's my sister's ex-boyfriend.
Huh?
This is all so crazy. But I think I know what's going on. I only found out after my divorce, but I've been told that my sister used to mistreat Henry back when they were in a relationship. He's soft, and also younger than my sister, so she used to take advantage of him. She would boss him around and make him do things that were clearly inappropriate. He was practically a slave to Carla.
Wow, I never knew he was treated so badly. So you're saying that she might be doing it again? Using him so that she can get access to my apartment?
I can't be sure with such little information, but that would be my guess.
Okay, well, you know what? I am worried about my apartment and also Henry. I'm gonna jump on the next plane to see what's going on there with my own eyes.
The next plane? Are you sure?
Yeah, it's not a long flight anyway. I know there's a late flight I could probably catch if I head to the airport now. I can't stay long, but I need to know what's happening. Something needs to be done immediately if a stranger is living in my apartment without my permission.
Is there anything I can do while you head over here? Should I call the police?
Let me talk to Henry first. I don't want to put him in a difficult position if he's being used. Please, stay put for now.
Okay, I understand. Can you stop by my place when you arrive?
Yes, I certainly will. I will be arriving quite late, though.
That's okay. Thomas knows about the situation as well. He told me to tell you that you're free to stay at our place if you want to hold any actions till tomorrow.
Ah, that might be super helpful, actually. Thanks so much.
Of course. I will see you when you get here then. Have a safe flight.
Okay, see you soon.
Danielle! You have to help me! What now, Carla? There's a stranger at my door right now! He's banging on the door, yelling that this apartment belongs to him and that I need to get out! I thought this building has good security! What is this freak doing in here? Carla, that is no freak. You were so busy bullying me yesterday that you didn't see my last message. The owner of your apartment is my friend. He's banging on the door to retrieve what belongs to him. Huh? He doesn't own this place! What the hell are you talking about? To make it easier for you to understand, the owner is a relative of Henry's. What? His name is Eli, and he's cousins with Henry. He also happens to be really good friends with my boyfriend Thomas, who I live with on the second floor. Wait, what? You live with your boyfriend? Yes, I do. But is that really important right now? No, it's not. But I never imagined you'd be in a relationship with someone again. But whatever. So you're telling me this place isn't Henry's? I saw him going in and out of this building! That's why I thought... Oh, never mind. No, go on, please. Were you going to say that's why I thought I could take advantage of him again? Take advantage of him? No, why would I do that? Why don't you just admit that you are not the official resident of that apartment, huh? I don't know what you're talking about. I think you do. You just admitted that you thought the apartment was Henry's and not yours. You made it sound like Matthew insisted on moving into this building, but that was just bad acting. The truth is that you found out Henry had some sort of access to an apartment here and you threatened him to hand over the keys. Just as you always mistreated him before, you gave him no choice. Well, it's too bad you didn't give him the chance to tell you that he doesn't live in the apartment. By the way, I've already spoken to Henry, so don't try to lie. You can't fool me, Danielle. I saw him going in and out of this apartment multiple times, alone. He had the keys. How could he not live here? You're trying to trick me. The only person tricking anyone is you. The real owner, Eli, is on a project that has him temporarily relocated to another city. And Eli asked Henry to house sit his apartment while he was away. That's why Henry's been staying at his apartment. You just assumed he lived there and was too stupid to confirm the whole story. What? I don't believe this! So Henry tricked me? I have a message from the real owner. You should pack everything right now and leave today if you don't want any trouble with the police. Police? No, please don't. Danielle, can't you talk to your friend? If he's away for a while, then there should be no problem staying here until he comes back. We'll do a better job house-sitting than Henry! Carla, you are so lucky Eli has not called the police yet. I told him he could, but he's been generous not to, because you're my sister. But you need to understand that you're breaking a whole bunch of laws by occupying that apartment without proper permission. If the police come, you will be arrested for multiple charges. If you don't want that, then you need to leave now. Of course, if you're okay with becoming a criminal and having a rough life with heroin, that's your choice. No, of course I don't want that! Danielle, come on! You don't want that for your own little sister. I seriously don't mind. Danielle! Well then leave. But wait, we don't have anywhere to go! We can't possibly live in our old apartment anymore. You think any of us care that you have high standards now? Eli's saying that if you don't tell him that you're leaving within the next 60 seconds, he's calling the police. Huh? Wait! 30 seconds left. Okay, I'll tell him we're leaving! Hey sis, I know you're in there. Let me in! Oh my god, Carla. Get a life! Why are you so obsessed about living in that apartment? You agreed to leave! No, that's not why I want to come inside. I need you to let me live with you. I beg your pardon? I told you we have nowhere to live! Go back to your old apartment. We can't. Because we've been kicked out from that one too. In fact, we got kicked out right before we moved into your apartment. We were broke and we couldn't pay rent, so the owner kicked us out. I was wandering the streets, looking for a new place to live when I saw Henry enter your building. I didn't think we'd get kicked out again so quickly. I see. So you really have nowhere to go. And we don't have any money because we still have to pay our old landlord the rent we had delayed. Plus, the housing in this neighborhood is so expensive. We're desperate, Danielle. Please, you have to help your sister out. Why on earth do you think I would let you stay with me? Well, it's not so bad, don't you think? We can share Matthew if that's what you'd like. What? Share him? Yes! You were so in love with him before. I know you miss him. We can rotate bedrooms so that we both get to sleep with him. Ew! You are disgusting! You should be ashamed of yourself, Carla. Why not? You know, you must have such a small brain. I just told you the other day that I live with my boyfriend, so I do not love Matthew anymore. Nor do I miss him at all. I moved on a long time ago. And even if I did miss him, I would never share a man with anyone. Especially not my sister, because I am so much better than that. Right, you had a boyfriend. I must have forgotten because I couldn't believe you'd be in a relationship with someone again. Well, I am, and I'm very happy. So anyway, you are not stepping a foot into my apartment. Neither of you are welcomed here. Danielle, please! And for your information, I know you've been wandering around the building for a while now. I wouldn't be surprised if someone had reported you to the police by now. What? In fact, I should call them myself. Would that help you leave for good? We're leaving now! Well then go away now! And never show yourself in front of us ever again! Bye! I was wondering why she was so afraid of being reported to the police, but then I soon found out that they had been in trouble with the authorities prior to this incident. They'd been reported by the owner and other residents of their old apartment for making noise and tampering with belongings of the facility multiple times. They'd been warned by the police that next time would mean handcuffs, and that's why they wanted to avoid any further encounter. However, since both of them had been disowned by both sides of the family after my divorce from Matthew, they really had nowhere to go. And because of that, it led to them having a huge fight in the streets that the police ended up having to intervene. A religious family member on Matthew's side of the family bailed them out a few days later. Last I heard, the person who bailed them out took the two to a farm on the countryside in hopes that they would straighten themselves by working hard. I don't know if they were able to survive farm life or pay off their debt, but frankly, I don't care. I'm just glad that they're out of my life now.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Millie, are you there? I just wanted to thank you for today. I know I have been keeping you waiting for a long time, but I just wanted to thank you for your patience and for agreeing to marry me.
No, Arnie, thank you so much. You have no idea how long I had been waiting for this. I was so happy when you got down on one knee for me and asked if I would marry you. I can't tell you how many times I had pictured you doing that exact same thing in my head.
I know, I can't believe that we're finally engaged now. We started dating when we were both 23 years old, and it's been 7 happy years together with you.
I know that this doesn't mean that things are going to be perfect between us from now on. I'm sure that there are going to be plenty of challenges that we'll have to go through from here on out. But I'm just happy that we'll be going through them together.
I know what you mean, Millie. I really am so happy about how things went.
I know. This was a perfect day, and I'm so grateful to have someone like you in my life, Arnie.
By the way, how exactly do you think we should go about making the announcement to my dad? And your dad, for that matter. I guess there's a lot of people we're going to have to make calls to now. And given that both of our dads work in the same company, they basically see each other every single day. Maybe we should just go see them at work and tell them both at the same time.
Yeah, I was also wondering about what the best way to go about doing that would be. But I think that might be a nice way to get 2 birds with 1 stone.
So, then you just want to go to their office tomorrow when we can tell them then?
I really think that any time would work for me. I don't think I have anything going on tomorrow. So as long as we find a time that works for all 4 of us, it shouldn't be a problem.
Great. In that case, I'll ask my dad when he thinks would be a good time to go over and be able to talk to the 2 of them at the same time. When he gets back to me, I'll let you know what he said, and we can decide our plan.
Sounds good to me. Thank you for doing that, Arnie. I appreciate you asking about that. Also, speaking of telling people about our engagement, have you put any thought into how we should go about telling your mom?
I've actually been trying specifically not to think about that, if I could be perfectly honest with you.
Well, it's not like I can't understand why. I mean, when we first started dating, she was always telling you to break up with me since my dad was a single father. I mean, we didn't even tell her that we were actually in a relationship until after your parents split up. But we were dating for a whole 4 years before that.
Yeah, I mean, I think my mom actually still isn't sure whether or not we're still dating. Although, judging from some of the things she says, I'm not sure she knows that we are. I think maybe she didn't really understand when we tried to tell her that we were dating because she was so wrapped up in the divorce and all that.
Right. Well, now that we've come this far, I wonder how she's going to react hearing that we are in fact dating each other right now. More than that, we've just gotten engaged. It's going to be a shock to her.
Yeah, I think you're right. We'll have to think of a way that we can tell her about it without giving her too much of a surprise.
Do you think something like that is even going to be possible?
Well, it's been about 4 years since her and my dad have gotten a divorce. And the last time that I talked to her was after that happened, to try and tell her we were still dating. But I haven't spoken with my mom since then. I mean, we're basically estranged if you think about it. To be perfectly honest, I was thinking that we really don't even have to invite her to the wedding, if we don't want to. And I think my dad would probably agree with me on that one.
You really feel that way? Well, I guess you would know better than me since I've hardly interacted with her as well.
I know, that is one thing that I regret between us. I should have explained all of this more clearly to you. But I'm sure you can see why that was difficult for me after you met my mom.
Please don't beat yourself up about this at all, Arnie. I know that you were just thinking about my well-being and how I was going to interact with her. I really do appreciate you looking out for me.
Thank you for being so understanding. You don't know how lucky you make me feel to be with you. I really am so happy that we're engaged now. It really is like a dream come true, Millie.
I feel the exact same way. It's like I said, I know that we might have some challenges up ahead, but we'll get through them together.
I know that we will. Anyways, I'm going to talk to my dad and ask him what time he thinks we could go over to see him. I'll let you know what he says.
Sounds good to me. Thank you so much for doing that, Arnie. Arnie, are you there? You've got some serious explaining to do, young man. I happened to hear from a friend of mine the other day that you were going to be getting married today. What is the matter with you, son? Why wouldn't you tell me, your own mother, that this was going to be happening? Why am I having to find out through the grapevine and the day before it's happening? Well, lucky for you, I know how to act fast. I've already found a place that's willing to rent me a dress. But unfortunately, I didn't have enough time to make an appointment at the hair salon. But I have no idea just what you're thinking trying to hold a wedding without your own mother there. Who ever heard of that happening? Anyways, I'm on my way to the wedding right now, so I'll see you soon. Hello there. I take it that this is the phone number for Millie, yes? I really have to say, I am just shocked to see you here at my son's wedding. I mean, just what on earth do you think you're doing here, huh? I thought you and my son broke up years ago. I have no idea why in the world Arnie would invite an ex to his wedding, but I want you to know that you seem to be acting awfully close with my son. I just want you to know that you better not be thinking of trying to flirt with him or anything like that, because I am not going to have some little girl who was only raised by her father hanging around my perfect little boy. I told you years ago that you both needed to break up, and I haven't changed how I feel about since then. Do you understand me? I realize that a lot has changed since my days when men were worried about the age of their wife or if they were divorced before. But this is too much. You need to quit stalking my son and realize that you've already lost him, okay? It's over. So just leave him alone and let him get married. So you thought you could just ignore the messages that I was sending you, huh? Well, I didn't go through the trouble of hunting down your number just to be ignored. Just remember that you forced me to take things into my own hands, got it? I was wondering who it was that came up behind me, grabbed me by my collar, and started dragging me out of the venue. And lo and behold, when I turned around, it was you. I didn't even think that you were invited to the wedding in the first place, isn't that right? You have no idea what you're talking about. I'm Arnie's mother, of course I'm invited. I just have a right to be here. But as for you, I want to know just what you think you're doing here. Don't you know that Arnie ended things with you a long time ago? I want to know what you're doing here. What am I doing here? Did you seriously just ask me that? I think that I'm here for my wedding day, thank you very much. What on earth are you talking about? You think that you're going to marry my son? You're just his creepy little stalker. You must really be crazy if you think that this wedding here today has anything to do with you. At all. Don't you realize that Arnie is here to get married to his real bride? You need to learn your place and leave him alone. Learn my place? How's this for my place? You do know that I'm Arnie's boss, don't you? What do you mean by that? His boss of what? What are you going on about now, you delusional woman? Look, I am going to go back into that venue and I am going to get married. But you were never even invited here in the first place. But that can't be right. I'm Arnie's mother. Of course I'm welcome to be here. No, you're not. Arnie didn't invite you and you two haven't even spoken in years. Don't you get it? What are you saying? That he's cut me out of his life or something like that? That's exactly what I'm telling you. Now do not disturb our wedding again. Or else. Arnie, are you there? I think we have to talk about something really quickly.
Millie, I was wondering when I was going to hear from you. Are you okay? What happened? I was just stepping out to get some stuff from the car while helping to set up, and I noticed that my mom started sending me some messages. She said something about how she was going to force her way into the wedding if it was the last thing she does. Have you seen her around here?
Oh, I've done more than just see her. We had a little altercation, actually.
You mean you and her bumped into each other? That's crazy! What happened?
Well, after you stepped out, she barged her way into the building and grabbed me by my collar out of the venue. She grabbed my collar and my wrist, and I think she really hurt my right hand. Thankfully, I'm left-handed, but still, I'm not happy to be getting married after suffering an injury from your mom. But thankfully, one of the friends who was helping us decorate is a doctor, and he looked at it. He said it isn't serious, and it shouldn't cause any serious problems for us.
Got it. Oh, that's really good to hear. But if my mom is here, then I'm going to try and find my dad so we can figure something out.
Please do. I'm sure this isn't going to be the last that you see of your mom today. So if you can handle her, that would be great.
Mom? What in the world do you think that you're doing here, huh? You've got some nerve showing your face around here.
Arnie, what a pleasant surprise. I was wondering when I was going to hear from you. What do you mean, what am I doing here? I'm your mom and I'm here for your wedding.
But you weren't even invited in the first place. You know that, right?
What do you mean by that? I thought that was some kind of mistake or something.
No, it wasn't a mistake at all. I didn't invite you to my wedding, and we haven't even talked in years. I didn't even send you a wedding announcement, much less an invitation. Just how did you even figure out this was happening today? And more importantly, just what made you think that you were entitled to be here when you weren't invited and we haven't talked in forever?
But Arnie, please, you're being unreasonable.
I'm being unreasonable? You attacked my bride at a wedding you weren't even invited to. Just go home already.
Now you listen to me, son. Like it or not, I am your mother and I belong here.
We don't even have any preparations for you to just show up like this.
How could you do this to me? I thought that you broke up with that sad little girl. I told you that you were not going to be marrying someone raised by a single father.
And just who cares if she was raised by her dad? Why does that matter to you at all?
Because there is no way that a single father would know how to raise a girl well. Not to mention the fact that it probably means the two of them are poor.
And you actually out of your mom mind? First of all, Millie's father is a doctor.
Wait, what? Millie's father is a doctor?
That's right. He's a doctor who actually is a partner in several different clinics around town.
Wait, so he's a doctor and an entrepreneur.
Why are you pretending like you didn't know any of this? I know for a fact that I told you all of this when I first told you that Millie and I were dating.
Did you really tell me? I guess that I just don't remember is all.
Well, I did say so.
But I don't remember that. You can't be mad at me for that.
I don't know what I'm going to do with you, Mom. You're just such a prejudiced, judgmental person, and you never listen to anyone. Now look, Millie and I are going to be getting married tomorrow, and nothing is going to change that.
Arnie, don't you realize what you're doing?
Much better than you do, Mom. Much better than you do. Now do not interrupt our wedding again, or else.
Millie, are you there? We have seriously got to talk about something right now. I didn't believe you when you said it about Arnie, but are you really his boss? But more importantly than that, I was asking around and found out that you're my husband's boss as well?
Well, you two got a divorce 4 years ago, so I'm not sure if he's your husband anymore.
I didn't ask your thoughts about my relationship status. Just answer the questions. I didn't even know that he was even working for the same company that you were. So I want you to tell me why he's working with you and why he's working under you. Answer me right now!
Well, if you really must know, your husband's company went bankrupt 2 years ago.
Wait, you're telling me that my ex-husband's company went bankrupt 2 years ago?
That's literally what I just typed, yes. Anyways, I heard about that from Arnie and there just happened to be some openings in my company. So, I put in a good word for him, he went through the hiring process, and in the end he was placed in my department where I'm the supervisor. So yeah, I was able to give him a strong recommendation, and because I knew his skills, I knew that he would be a good fit for my department.
So that's it. It all makes sense now.
Sorry, what makes sense? I don't really trust that you know anything at all of what's going on.
I mean that in the background, it was always you.
Sorry, was that me? Literally, what are you talking about this time?
I mean that on the day of your wedding, when I dragged out of the venue, I told my husband that I wanted to be with him again. I told him that the only reason I said that Arnie couldn't marry you is because I was thinking about his happiness. I thought that if my ex knew that I was only thinking of our son, that he would take me back. But he said no. He said that he would never, ever marry me again. He told me that you attacked his boss and marrying you would ruin his career. I had no idea what he was talking about until I put it together that he had to be referring to you. So, this is all your fault. This is all part of your plan to ruin my life.
I'm sorry, but I was never doing anything like that, and I don't care about who you marry. You and your husband divorced for your own reasons. And from what I hear, it mostly had to do with you spending all the money your ex made. You were so greedy and selfish that he realized he just couldn't be with you anymore.
How dare you say that to me? You don't know what you're talking about. You need to learn some respect.
I really don't. In fact, this whole conversation is just silly. The next time you hear from it, it will be through my lawyer talking about our lawsuit.
You're going to be suing me? For what?
For breaking into a wedding that you weren't invited to and spraining my wrist. Now, goodbye. Apparently, Apparently, Danny's selfishness and poor spending habits only worsened after her divorce. I found out later that she was swimming in debt from all of this. I think her approaching her husband was an attempt to find someone to pay her debts. She thought that if she could protect her son from his stalker, that he might take her back. It's just too bad she didn't realize that that stalker was her son's fiancé and ex's boss. The lawsuit proceeded and Danny was forced to pay for my injuries as well as the fee for the trespassing. I told her that I wouldn't cancel her legal fees if she agreed to sign a restraining order. And Danny realized she had no choice but to agree if she didn't want to go deeper into debt. She was also banned from contacting me ever again while Arnie blocked her on every medium he could think of. Things are back to business as usual, however, except that now Arnie and I are happily married.
This is Brenda, am I right? We just exchanged line addresses, so I thought I would try sending you a text. You there, Brenda? Maybe this is a good time as any to ask you a few pertinent questions. Oh, hey Becky, right. Good evening. Good to hear from you so soon. It was nice meeting you when our families met the other night. I was a bit nervous, but it was all very enjoyable, wasn't it? So, I'm sure you already know all about me, right? Oh, of course. You're the wife of my fiancé's brother, which will make you my sister-in-law in the not-so-distant future. I look forward to being a part of the family. What should I call you after we marry? Do you mind if I continue calling you Becky? Would you rather that I call you by your real name, which would be Rebecca, right? Becky's fine. I've never really liked the name Rebecca anyway. And it sounds sort of old-fashioned. It makes me feel old for some reason. Oh, really? All right, then I'll call you Becky. I prefer that too. Sounds way younger and accessible than Rebecca. So what was it that you wanted to ask me? Was it something important? My husband tells me that you're not working at the moment. Not even a part-time job. Is that true? Yes, that's right. Why do you ask? I just like to know is all. What are you doing now? Just lounging around the house, or are you working at home, like the remote online stuff we recently hear about? Yes, that's right. Most of my work I do remotely from home. Give me the details, would you? I can't get a good grasp of what you're doing when you just say, I work remotely. You sound like a robot or something. Oh, yes. Sorry. I guess you can say I send out images and messages through social media. Stuff like that. Excuse me? Sending out messages and photos and the like, is that what you're saying? I'm not asking about your hobby, Brenda. I want to know what you do for a living. Actually, that is my work. It's not a hobby, as you suggest. Not many people can really make money just posting on social media unless they have some big sponsor or something. You're delusional if you think that'll work. Only a small percentage of people can do that. Besides, I just can't fathom a person like you. An ordinary run-of-the-mill woman like yourself would have the creativity or acumen to make money on social media. So what you're actually saying is that you're unemployed, isn't that right? This social media stuff is just a mere hobby. Oh, no, I do have some income. It's not like I'm unemployed, as you put it. If you're not bringing home any money, it means you're not working, my dear, which is the definition of unemployed. Really, I am working and bringing in income. Yeah, whatever. Anyways, what I wanted to say was that if you're in financial trouble, and I can see you headed in that direction, I just don't want you relying on me for money, that's all. Oh, is that so? I don't think you have to worry about that, Rebecca. If you don't want any family contact with me, well, I'm okay with that if that's the way you want it. Oh, yeah, all right. I just wanted to put that out there so you know where I stand going forward. What I also wanted to say was maybe you should seriously think about simply nullifying this whole engagement. I think it would be for the best. Pardon me, nullify? You mean I shouldn't get married? Is that what you're suggesting? I better get going. We'll talk again.
Hey, Brenda, are you okay? What's this about?
Hey, Paul, what are you talking about? Is there a problem?
It's about my brother's wife.
Are you talking about Becky? Or should I say Rebecca?
Yeah, that's right. She contacted me and started telling me all this weird stuff about you. I was just worried. We're not even married yet, and I'm already hearing this bitching from Becky. I was a bit concerned.
Yeah, well, we did exchange line messages, but the last time we met face to face was at the dinner meeting last month. She sends these silly messages saying stuff like, "I'm way more attractive than you," kind of stuff. Harmless kid stuff, really.
Oh yeah, I remember you showing me that text conversation a couple times. Boy, she never gives up with that nonsense.
Did she say something to you, Paul? What did she say?
To be honest, it was pretty appalling stuff. You sure you want to hear it?
Well, I can imagine what she said, so I wouldn't be surprised. Go ahead.
Okay, get ready then. She said, "If you marry that lazy, jobless leech of a woman, I want nothing to do with you." And if that wasn't enough, she continued with, "If you were marrying an attractive and stylish woman, she would be a nice ornament, but that unappealing and unemployed freeloader? No thank you." She told me to nullify the engagement now. Sooner the better, she said. I know, kinda low, huh?
You can say that again. But I suppose it can't be helped about what she said about being unemployed. I was sort of vague regarding that part. I didn't want to be too fancy on our first meeting, so I toned down my makeup and picked that simple dress. To be honest, I didn't expect to get such a reaction.
I'm really sorry for all this, Brenda.
You have no reason to apologize, Paul. You didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, well, she is my brother's wife, and I can't ignore the fact that she's a relative.
But it's because of my vague explanation of my work. She's just figured I was making my hobby sound like a real job. In a sense, I don't blame her. Anyway, maybe I should have been more upfront about it.
Well, that's not your fault at all. You had good reason to be vague about your work. You know what, Brenda? I don't think your choice of makeup and a more subdued choice of clothes was in any way wrong. In contrast, Becky's flashy clothes and thick eyelashes are way too tacky for my taste. As a matter of fact, everyone there was a bit taken aback by her way too flamboyant fashion choices.
Yeah, I know. I checked out her Instagram page the other day. Boy, what was she trying to prove with that makeup? Like an insect trying to attract the opposite sex.
That's an interesting way of putting it. You think she's trying to attract the opposite sex, maybe?
I'm not sure, but as a woman, it sure looks that way. But what do I know, right?
But why get all dressed up for a meeting between relatives? Makes no sense.
Yeah, that was sort of uncomfortable, wasn't it?
Anyways, I already told my folks as well as my brother about what you really do, so that's not a problem. As for Becky, my brother is waiting for the right time. But if things continue, I was thinking of just confronting her myself and explaining everything to her. Maybe that would be the more suitable route to take.
Don't get all worked up about it, Paul. Your brother said that he had plans, so leave it up to him. He'll work it out. Maybe he's got his own strategy all worked out. You don't want to disrupt his plans, right?
Sorry, Brenda. This is such a hassle for you, isn't it? I hate having to put you through this.
Don't worry about it, Paul. I'm fine. I've dealt with people like Becky hundreds of times in the past. She doesn't compare. I can deal with it just fine.
But it's an area Becky would be really interested in, and I just can't understand why she hasn't figured it out. At the meeting, I was super nervous that she would recognize your face and would go totally berserk. I totally thought she would know it was you on sight.
That's how it usually is, these things. You just don't expect it. Your mind doesn't register. Don't worry about me. I'll just play along with Becky until the wedding. I can handle her, no problem. There's no need to worry, Paul.
Really sorry, Brenda. I appreciate it.
So, Brenda, you've decided not to nullify that engagement like I suggested. I warned you about this. Oh, hello, Rebecca. How are you? I heard you were going to be coming late to the wedding. Can I ask you what time you'll be here? We have to make preparations. I'm sure you understand. The wedding ceremony is just about to begin, so I suggest you get here pretty soon. Yeah, well, I'm not sure I will make it in time. Probably get there right in the middle of it all. I was planning to just skip this silly affair, but my husband was so adamant that I attend, I reluctantly agreed. What a total waste of time. I have much better things to do than attend this dopey wedding. Well, as long as you're coming. But just remember that I am a popular Instagrammer, which will of course attract a considerable amount of attention, so just be ready for that. Ha! You had it coming, Brenda. I warned you about this. Rebecca, what the hell was that today? Why did you do such a thing? All I did was make a grand entrance into your boring little wedding and make a surprise speech. Did you enjoy that? A surprise speech? All you did was snatch that microphone from the host and make a fool of yourself. What an awful thing to do to a person's wedding. Oh, poor girl. I did it to pull the lid off the real you, to expose your true identity, the jobless fake that you are. So sorry that everyone had to know the real you, the unemployed freeloader pretending to be some social media big shot. I didn't want to be associated with you as a family member, so I took the initiative and made my position clear, so there would be no misunderstanding later on. I hope you understand. So what did you think? Did my little speech convince you to give up on this marriage? You must have been so embarrassed that you will never be able to go through with this partnership. Just to be clear, I don't want to be a part of a family with the likes of you. You do understand, Brenda, right? I mean, it would be such an embarrassment to say you're a relative. How many times have I said that I really don't care to have any family relationship with you? You go on your way and I'll go mine. We don't even have to interact. Why can't you just accept that? It's not about just not having contact. I told you about my Instagram page, right? You look through it all the time, right? As you can see on my Instagram page, I am a makeup specialist. I have a lot of followers who follow my makeup techniques and heed my advice on matters of beauty. But if my many followers learn that a jobless, plain Jane like yourself is a relative of mine, I'm finished. Or at least it would smear my reputation. And you tell me you're also doing social media stuff? Probably just uploading idiotic videos and messages, but you see, Brenda, if it gets out that I'm somehow associated with you, much less family related, oh my god, it would tarnish my good name forever, and I just could not have that. Any potential danger to my good name has to be eradicated for good before it gets out of hand. Oh boy, I really don't know what to say. Well, you can thank me for a successful speech. But after I made that speech, they kicked me out of there pretty quick, but that drab little ceremony was canceled anyway, right? No, it wasn't canceled. It continued to the very end. It all went perfectly except for that little speech incident partway through, but that was soon forgotten. Excuse me? They didn't cancel the whole shebang? Everyone was a little shocked at first, but most got over it. Some even thought it was just a prank. No way, you're lying. The timing of that surprise speech that you made was pretty good, though. Everyone sort of cringed after that. I hate to say this because I sound like I'm boasting, and I assure you I don't get any satisfaction in doing that, but among the many guests that were here, a lot of them were here to meet me, a pretty well-known influencer. Again, I hate to brag. Right when you started that speech, we were right in the middle of a photo and signing session with all my fans. Excuse me? Influencer? What the hell are you even talking about, Brenda? I'm saying I'm a well-known influencer, you know, a content creator on social media. I know exactly what an influencer is. You don't have to explain. So that means you've seen my face on Instagram, then? Huh? See you? Yes, I know that you follow me on my page and you even liked me a bunch of times. As a matter of fact, you liked me on every photo. Wait, are you serious? When you barged into the room and snatched that mic from the host, you were so hyped up that you didn't get a good look at me. If you would have taken a good look, you would have recognized me right away because I was wearing the usual makeup that I normally use on Instagram. If you had only looked my way even for a second, I'm sure you would have realized who I was. Are you saying that normally you wear a more subdued sort of makeup? Is that what you're saying? Yes, that's right. I had a bad experience with this stalker once, so when in public, I try not to attract much attention by toning down my appearance. Just a way of protecting myself. I guess you can say it's kind of like a disguise. Wait a second. The people I follow on Instagram are limited. I only follow certain people, not any ordinary influencer. I probably only follow the top 10 influencers on Instagram. Are you saying that you're one of those top 10 people? Precisely. That's exactly what I'm saying. Why didn't you tell me this sooner? If I would have known. I made a complete fool of myself. Was this all on purpose? Of course not. Your husband asked me not to tell you. He thought it would be better. Excuse me? My husband told you not to tell me? Now why in the hell would he do that? He knew how you would react, is probably why. Once you found out I was a well-known influencer, you would use the status of your family reputation to me and blow everything out of proportion. I guess he didn't want you making a total fool of yourself. What? He said that? Yes, but I suggest you ask him directly. I don't want to put words in his mouth. From here on, this is an issue to be worked out between husband and wife. Brenda, are you there? Oh, please talk to me. My husband, he just divorced me. What did I do that was so wrong? All that makeup and clothes I needed for my Instagram page, I bought it on his credit card and my husband found out about it. I told him that I needed that stuff for my Instagram page. Besides, we're married, and so what's so wrong about sharing funds, right? But it turns out that his credit card was linked to his personal savings. Money he saved when he was single. I used a considerate amount, like $20,000. So after the divorce, I was told I would get nothing. It would have to reimburse him for the stuff I bought. Is that fair? What am I going to do? I can't pay him back for all that with just my part-time job money. Brenda, could you lend me some money? Please? An influencer like yourself, you make pretty good money, right? I'll pay you back in no time. So please, Brenda, help me out here. So please, $20,000. Please, I would really appreciate it. If you could add a little more so I could get back on my feet, oh, that would really be helpful. Sorry, Rebecca. I think I'll pass on that. And if you don't mind, I'm going to block you. Wait, please. See you around, Rebecca. Please, Brenda, help me out, please. Right after the wedding and that so-called surprise speech, Rebecca's Instagram page lost all her followers and went crashing down into the digital abyss. Someone at the wedding recorded the whole incident on their phone and quickly uploaded it to social media, and we all know what go viral means. I was surprised her Instagram page went down so quickly after that. Her dream of becoming a popular influencer vanished without a trace. After the divorce, she was relegated back to her parents' place back east. She was given one of those senior citizen phones that only have 3 or 4 important numbers preset and with no access to the internet. And I heard that she was only allowed to have no more than $10 in her purse. And of course no credit card of any kind, only cash. Her parents got her a job just down the street at a relative's business, so they have her monitored 24/7. She's more like a prisoner now with nowhere to go. All she does is work to pay off her debts. Everyone in the neighborhood knew her story, what with that viral video and all. Actually, she was somewhat of a celebrity over there. Not exactly the kind of fame she was dreaming about. Hi, Rosita. I finished inputting the data in the spreadsheet, so can I go home now? What? I mean, even you just went outside and aren't doing any work, so that means it's alright if I go home now, right? Fiorina, I'm still negotiating with our clients for a business deal, you know? I'm not outside not doing any work. I'm currently at our client's office. And besides, do you know what time it is right now? Or is it that time flows differently just around you? What? I don't know what you're talking about. It's still 2 in the afternoon. You still have 3 hours until you can go home. Yeah, but I'm finished with work. I don't have anything to do anyways. If that's the case, then get some work to do from our manager. I already told you that he's in charge of educating the new employees, right? You can't just go home because you finished work early, you know. You get paid to work a specific number of hours here. What? Can't I just do that tomorrow? What do you mean by educating the new employees, even? You sound like a mother-in-law that's bullying her son's wife. Huh? A mother-in-law? Yeah, just because you're the department head doesn't mean you can talk down to me like this. Besides, you're already 43, right, Rosita? I bet you're just jealous because I'm still at the youthful age of 20. Let me guess, you're the type of person that bullies their son's wife at home, right? That's not right, you know. Just so we can be clear, I'm single, you know? I don't have any children either. What? But you're already 43. Isn't it already too late for you to have any children now? Well, I do plan on getting married in 3 months, though, and it's none of your business whether I have children or not. We were talking about how you were about to get back to work, right? What? You're getting married at the age of 43? Just what kind of pervert are you marrying? Are you sure you weren't getting scammed or something? He's probably just going to disappear with all your money one day. Are you sure this is a good idea, Rosita? I know exactly who I'm marrying, so you don't have to worry about me being scammed. I don't see a point in talking about my private affairs any longer. Come on, you're such a killjoy, Rosita. At least tell me how old this husband of yours is. No, I'll talk to the manager for you and tell him you're finished with the work he gave you, so get your next work from him. Huh? Fine. Rosita, I did a bit of investigation after our last conversation, but apparently you're marrying someone crazy, right? Huh? What do you mean crazy? Don't tell me, but did you seduce him into marrying you because you wanted money or something? Well, I guess that's obvious, I guess. Why else would someone want to marry a CEO? What in the world are you talking about? And no, I didn't marry my husband for the money, if that's what you're so interested in. Wait, aren't you supposed to be working right now? You're supposed to be working right now too, you know. Just tell me, how did you manage getting him to marry you? I just can't understand how a guy like that would want to marry you, an old hag in her 40s who's not even that attractive. Is he actually some sort of pervert that's into older women or something? Do your work. My marital affairs are none of your business. Come on, please, just tell me. If you don't, I'll just ask someone else, you know. I'm not going to reply anymore, all right? Get back to work. What? But I wanted to ask you so many questions. Hi, Rosita. I've got something to tell you. To tell you the truth, I think you're going to be very disappointed to hear this, but I'm currently on good terms with our CEO and have a very deep relationship with him. An old hag looking for money like you is a nuisance, to be honest. From now on, I can get the CEO to fire you anytime I want, so don't think that you can tell me what to do just because you're the department head anymore, all right? That's going to be a big mistake, since the CEO, he outranks you, obviously. To be honest, I'd rather you get fired as soon as possible and give up marrying into money like this. You were always nagging on me to do work anyways. You know what? I think I'll try and convince him to fire you right now.
Hey, Rosita, are you alright?
Huh? Hi, Lino. What are you talking about? I'm fine, I guess.
Are you sure? When I saw you at work today, you looked a bit strange.
Oh, yeah. So that's what you're talking about. I did pay a visit to your company today, didn't I?
Yeah, you seem to have something on your mind. Do you want to tell me about it? I wanted to talk to you in the office today, but I had a meeting right after that, so I couldn't.
Thanks for worrying about me, and I'm sorry for worrying you in the first place.
Don't worry about it. I'm going to be your husband soon, aren't I? If there's anything you want to tell me, I'll be here for you, alright? It's only a month and a half until our wedding, and you wouldn't want to have a problem in the back of your mind on the day of our wedding, right?
Yeah, I guess you're right. It's something about work, which is why I didn't know exactly how much I'm allowed to tell you.
Just tell me what you can tell me then. I'm sure it will make you feel better. In my experience, talking about something that makes things a lot less scary or bothersome than it actually is. I'll stop you if you start saying anything that sounds like you shouldn't tell me, so just talk to me.
Yeah, I guess I do want to tell you about it a little. Especially because everyone at work seems to be wanting to avoid the topic because they're afraid as to what Fiorina might do to them if she finds out.
Yep, I'm listening.
Thanks. You see, there's this woman that joined our company during the middle of the work year, and she's very selfish and arrogant.
In a way?
She got into the company in the first place by using her connections with the senior executive director. She was a relative of his, you see, and apparently she thought that this made her better than the other employees. But it seems like she started going out with our CEO recently as well, and so she's become even more selfish and arrogant than she was before. She practically doesn't do any work and just sits in her chair watching YouTube or looking at her phone all day. It would be fine if that's all she did, since we could just ignore her, but she also keeps bothering the employees, telling them to bring her water or stuff. Not only that, but she seems to not be using earphones on purpose, because she enjoys watching the other employees be annoyed at her, but not being able to do anything. It seems like the other employees are finding it difficult to call her out on it, since she's the CEO's girlfriend and a relative of the senior executive director. Because of that, it looks like I'm the only one nagging on her all the time, and the atmosphere in the office has become terrible.
I see. That does sound like quite the difficult situation. And what does the CEO himself have to say about this?
He's completely in love with her and lets her do whatever she wants. I mean, he was always doubted as to whether he was capable enough to be the CEO or not, but now it looks like he really was incapable of being the CEO. The only reason he was chosen in the first place was because his father was the CEO before him. This company has had a problem with incompetent people getting their positions by leveraging their connections. Anyways, the CEO is of no use anymore. It looks like he's been seduced by a 20-year-old woman and now does whatever she says.
What? 20 years old? Your CEO is 45 years old, right? I heard he's been single ever since he got divorced with his wife 10 years ago. They could be father and daughter if you just looked at their ages.
Yeah, I mean, the two are completely fine with this age difference, so there's nothing really that outsiders like us can say. But just between us, I'm pretty sure that the only reason Fiorina, that's the name of the woman, by the way, approached the CEO was for his money. Everyone's just pissed at the whole situation, and the worst part is that we don't know what to do about it besides just quitting our jobs.
I see. Hey, could you let me handle the situation instead? I think I know how to solve this problem.
What? You?
The chairman of your company is the current CEO's father, i.e. the former CEO, right?
Oh, yeah. That reminds me, you mentioned before that you were acquainted with the chairman, right?
Yep. I used to work with him when he was in charge of the company. He was a lot more competent than his son, I'll tell you that. I can't tell you the exact details of what I'm planning yet, though. You see, I was drinking with the chairman once, and he told me this joke that was at the same time half serious. It was something about how he failed in raising his son, and how he wouldn't make a good CEO, despite trying to raise him for the position. He said that he thought it was in the company's best interest if they just hired some random employee from the office. At the time, he didn't have the proper motive to set things into motion. But if he hears how his son, the CEO, was having a bad effect on the company like this, I'm sure he's going to make the decision immediately.
If there's a chance that things will change for the better, then it's better than just standing here and watching, I guess.
Yep, I'll talk to the chairman first, so just wait a bit, alright?
I understand. I'm counting on you then. Rosita, is it true that you're going to have your wedding today? But you got dumped by him, didn't you? Why are you going to have a wedding then? I can't believe it. You're even more pitiful than I thought. Is your head all right? I mean, are you seriously going to throw a wedding even though the groom won't be there? You scare me, Rosita. Oh, I get it. You're going to have a mannequin in the place of the CEO, right? That's even more scary. Good morning, Fiorina. What in the world are these texts that you've been sending me? What do you mean the groom isn't going to be here? I mean, I went to the wedding with the groom, and we're currently preparing for the ceremony together. What? You're even pretending to prepare for the wedding with the mannequin? Jesus. You're delusional on a dangerous level, Rosita. I mean, I knew you weren't in your right mind the moment I heard you were trying to marry him so that you could have some of his money, even though you're just an unattractive hag in her 30s, but I didn't know you were actually insane. I mean, it's even more scary because on the outside, you look like a functioning adult, but on the inside? Delusional? What are you even talking about, Fiorina? You have quite the imagination, I'll give you that at least. I mean, I'm currently with the CEO, you know. It's no use lying to me because there's no way he could be at your wedding at the same time. Huh? You already know that I'm dating the CEO, right? I mean, everyone in the office knows already. Yeah, I know that, but I think now is a good time to make things straight. It's disgusting to think that an old hag like you is about to become the CEO's wife. He says himself that he wants to make me, the cute 20-year-old girl, his wife. Oh, is that so? Which is why you have no choice but to cancel today's wedding. But how does you dating the CEO have anything to do with my wedding? What? Are you crying sour grapes now? What? Are you going to tell me that you weren't actually dating the CEO? Fiorina, could it be the case that you think the person I'm marrying is our CEO? Of course! I mean, you always nag me to do my work, right? It pissed me off so much that on top of being annoying, you were going to marry the CEO, which is why I stole him from you. I'm going to become the CEO's wife now as well, so it's a two birds in one stone situation, right? By the way, to make sure that you wouldn't be able to steal him back no matter what, we went to the city hall on Thursday and turned in our marriage papers. I see. So that's what you were after. Don't say that like you weren't after his money yourself. I still don't know how you managed to get engaged to him in the first place, but I guess that doesn't matter now. Sucks to be you, I guess. If you've understood already, then why not just cancel the wedding? No matter how hard you try, you're not going to get your groom. Just thinking that you're about to have a wedding ceremony with a mannequin from now makes me cringe. Seriously, you should consider entering a mental institution or something. Or is it that you're just getting old and aren't able to think straight anymore? Fiorina, that person isn't the CEO, you know. What? He's not the CEO anymore, to be exact. Why not? You weren't at work this Friday, right? That's probably why you don't know about it yet. It was decided in a meeting of board of directors that the current CEO was going to lose his position. Huh? I didn't hear anything about this from him. Yeah, well, it looks like he's been keeping secrets from you. Oh, and your relative, the senior executive director, felt responsible for the situation and voluntarily resigned. Huh? My uncle resigned? But he was the only one of my relatives that was willing to help me. Why was the CEO fired in the first place? To put it simply, the CEO was released from his position because he wasn't doing his job as the CEO and instead spent all his time with you instead. What? But he's the CEO. They can't just do this to him. Do you know how much he sacrificed? I can't really guess as to what it is exactly that he sacrificed. I mean, he's always been incompetent at his job, and ever since he started dating you, he began not coming to work entirely. Seriously, have you ever heard of a CEO that doesn't go to work because he's going on a date with his girlfriend? Also, he didn't do anything about how you used your position as the CEO's girlfriend to get away with not doing any work at the office, right? Do you even know how much this adversely affected everyone else in the office? Well, I guess you do know that, huh? I mean, you did purposefully not use earphones when you were watching YouTube because you enjoyed annoying the other employees. What do you mean adversely affected? Aren't you being a bit too mean to me? And what's with that accusation anyways? What? I can't not use earphones anymore just because you guys are working? I'm not on the same level as you peasants, remember? Besides, aren't you just being jealous right now? You're just trying to scare me because I stole your spot as the CEO's wife, aren't you? No, all of what I'm telling you right now is true. You can ask the board of directors yourself if you want. It's not like I'm the one who had him fired. Not only that, but you seem to be making a big misunderstanding, so I'll correct you. It's true that I'm marrying a CEO, but not our CEO, okay? He's the CEO of our business partner. What? But I was told that you were marrying the CEO. You probably misheard. By the way, they're our largest business partner, so you probably know the company name. My groom today is the CEO of A Corporations. He's the one who's going to become my husband, not our former CEO. Huh? But isn't A Corporations a bigger company than our own? It's also famous how the CEO is a 39-year-old and extremely handsome. You're marrying that handsome CEO, Rosita? How did you even get a man like that to marry you? Yes, I was very lucky to have found such a great man. You see, I would often go to their office to discuss business negotiations, which is how I met the CEO. Huh? But that doesn't explain why he chose you specifically. I don't get it. What does he see in an old hag like you? This is so unfair. Give him to me. I'll give you my boyfriend in return. I don't think I need to even bother replying to that, but no thanks. Humph. You say that now, but you're not going to be so confident anymore when I steal him from you. It's certain that he's going to fall for me instead once he sees me, who, unlike you, am young and pretty. All right, then why don't you come to our wedding and try stealing him from me? You'll probably just waste a lot of time and money, though. Of course I'll come. Where's the wedding venue? Guam. What? But the wedding's going to be done by the time I get there, right? Well, yes. Hold on. You're getting married abroad? Jesus, and to think that me and that old bum didn't even have a wedding ceremony. It must be nice marrying an actual CEO, huh? I can't talk to you any longer about this because the ceremony is about to start. So, if you'll excuse me. What even is that? You're just an old hag, but you're going to become the wife of the CEO of A corporations? And you're having a wedding ceremony abroad? And I just got married with a regular dude who's not even the CEO anymore. This is so unfair. It seems that our company's former CEO was allowed to remain in the company as a regular employee. Apparently, the former CEO was quite the needy husband. Ever since Fiorina proposed getting divorced because she was now unsatisfied with her current situation, he's become extremely possessive of her. Not only that, but his mother, who was as possessive as her son, moved in with them, and she got pregnant under her supervision. Fiorina was forced to quit her job after this. Not only that, but since her parents had already gotten divorced, she had nowhere else to go, since even her uncle, the former senior executive director and the only relative of hers that hadn't thrown her away yet, gave up on her after she made a mess inside the company. She couldn't run away from her husband and his mother even if she wanted to. I once saw Fiorina, now pregnant, and the former CEO in town while walking at night, but the sight of Fiorina was an expression of complete despair, walking 3 steps behind the former CEO, who in contrast with his wife had a huge smile on his face, was nothing but pitiful. I, on the other hand, started my own business after this whole mess. My husband helps me run my new company, and I'm currently enjoying my new job and my new life as a married woman. Anita! Oh, hello, Flora. Please give me back my son's baseball hat. You can't just go and steal someone else's stuff. I thought he had lost it or something, but then I saw your son wearing it yesterday. Huh? What in the world are you talking about? I didn't do anything of the sort. But the one my son was wearing yesterday was a new baseball hat that I had bought for him. You see, my son is a fan of the professional baseball team on his hat. What? Don't you think that's strange? Because the team on that baseball hat is the juvenile baseball team my son is a part of. What do you mean he's a fan? It's not even a professional baseball team in the first place. Are you sure about that? Who knows? Maybe they just use the same hats. It's true that there is a professional baseball team with the same colored hats, but the team logo on the front is completely different. Oh, and I sewed my son's name and uniform number on the hat, which I clearly saw on the one your son was wearing. What? Seriously? Oh, my bad. Maybe it was your son's hat after all. Yes, the one I bought for my son was slightly different now that I remember it. He must have picked it up thinking it was his. It must have been an honest mistake. There's no point in your son having that hat anyways, and if he's not a part of the baseball team, then people will know immediately that it's stolen if they see him wearing it. Besides, the coach at my son's baseball team is Mr. Tor, so if he sees your son wearing that, you know? So if it was an honest mistake, just like you say, then just give it back already. Mr. Tor? That crazy old man I sometimes see at the park? He's not crazy, he's just very strict and direct with people. Mr. Tor lives nearby, so if he sees your son wearing that, he's sure to call the police on you. The police? Are you sure I have to give it back to you? I mean, my son seems to really like it, and your son could always just get a new hat because he's a part of the team, right? No, it's my son's hat, and I'm not just going to let you have it. If you don't want to have the police called on you, then give me back the hat. Fine, I'll put it in your mailbox. Understood. Please bring it now. What? Now? Can't I just give it back to you when I feel like it or something? No. Give it back right now, please. If you don't, I'll tell Mr. Tor and the police. Fine, I get it. I'll bring it right now. Sheesh, you're making such a big deal out of this. It's just a hat, you know. I don't care if it's just a hat. What you're doing is theft, Anita. Don't do anything like this ever again. You're accusing me of being a thief? I told you it was just an honest mistake, and my son must have picked it up thinking it was his because I had bought him one that looked similar. I'm telling you, it was an honest mistake. Yeah, and he never noticed my son's name and uniform number sewed on the hat? I made sure to make it stand out precisely so no one would take it by accident. Next time, I won't be so forgiving and just call the police immediately. Fine, I won't. Just shut up already. You're making such a big deal out of this. Hey, Flora, I saw you entering your house just now. What in the world are you doing? Huh? What am I doing? I went to the supermarket to buy some stuff. You went to the supermarket? I don't think you have the luxury to be doing such things considering the situation. You called me out so many times before, but when you're the one in trouble, you just lie like it's so easy for you. That's what's called a hypocrite, Flora. All I ever do is make honest mistakes, but what you're doing right now is simply despicable. What? I don't know what you're talking about, Anita. Why are you in such a fuss? Your child just got taken away by an ambulance. I don't understand how you can just be so calm. Huh? Are you sure that it was my child? Yes, he was wearing your son's hat. I don't know who called the ambulance, but you noticed it come, right? There were so many people watching as well. I don't get why you can just pretend you don't know what's happening. Your own child got into an accident and was taken to the hospital, but you won't even go visit him since it's too much of a hassle for you. Hold on. I'm telling you, leave your house and go to the hospital right now. By the way, that accident wasn't my fault, all right? Huh? What do you mean it wasn't your fault? First of all, I don't know what you're talking about, and second of all, I never said it was your fault. Anyways, my son is in the house right now, so it can't be him. Huh? Are you sure about that? Yeah, he's practicing baseball in the yard right now. What? He's practicing baseball? But he just got into an accident and was taken to the hospital. How could he have recovered so fast? Are you being serious right now, Anita? I'm not saying that he's already back from the hospital, but that he was never taken to the hospital in the first place. The ambulance you're talking about is the one that drove by our house on the way to the main road, right? Yes, that one. So your son was taken to the hospital after all. No, I'm telling you he wasn't. Are you even listening to a word I say? Why do I even bother talking to you? At the time the ambulance came, I was at the supermarket across the main road. When I got home, I saw there was a crowd of people gathered at the side of the road. I saw there was an ambulance as well, so I thought something must have happened, but I didn't bother looking and just went inside. Oh, and once I got home, both my son and mother-in-law welcomed me back, which means that my son wasn't the one who was hospitalized, and I don't know what you're talking about. But... Oh, and this is completely unrelated, but we already moved. Huh? Oh, when did you move? You see, my husband was relocated at work, and so we decided to move to where his new office is. We've already bought a new house. But I have work as well, and my son has school, so the three of us, me, my son, and my mother-in-law, are going to be staying here for a bit longer. My father-in-law and my husband have already moved to our new house. We're planning on going there tonight and having dinner. Besides, my son is right in front of me, so what you've been saying all this time is nonsense. You must have mistaken someone else for my son. What? Then who was that taken away by the ambulance? I could have sworn it was your son that got into an accident. Anita, you really shouldn't bother yourself with such things. It's none of our business. We'll just cause trouble if we start a commotion over something we don't have anything to do with. And if we did have something to do with it, we would have gotten a call from the hospital or police or something. If the person who was carried away was our neighbor, then we'll find out soon who it was and what happened, right? Why are you insisting so much that it was my son anyways? Did you get a close look and think it was him or something? Maybe you thought it was my son because it was some kid from nearby that looked like him, but thankfully nothing's happened with us here, so don't worry. Oh, is that so? Oh, it's fine if that's the case, though. I don't care if it has nothing to do with your son. Bye, then. Hello, Anita? I found out who was taken away by the ambulance yesterday. You seemed to be bothered about it a lot, so I'll share the information with you. Who was it? Apparently it was the son of Mr. Tor, the coach at my son's baseball team. What? That was Mr. Tor's son? Yep. I went to today's baseball practice with my son and saw that Mr. Tor's son wasn't there. So I asked him about it, and he told me about yesterday's accident. Apparently a bicycle that was going full speed crashed into him when he turned a corner. Luckily, he wasn't seriously injured, but he hit his head, so he went to the hospital to have it checked up just in case. Oh, is that so? I'm glad nothing serious happened to him. But apparently the person that ran into him fled the scene, and they still don't know who it was. What a sick person. To think that they would crash into an elementary school student and just flee the scene without even thinking to help? But if they had stayed and helped, surely they would have had to face the consequences of crashing into a child. It's only natural that they fled the scene, in my opinion. Is that a crime, do you think? Of course it is. Fleeing the scene is what a coward would do, Anita. An honest person would stay and do whatever they could to make up for his or her mistake. Even though it was just a bicycle, what this person did was clearly illegal. You can't just be going that fast on a sidewalk. It's against road laws. Yeah, you're right, I guess. Besides, if it was an honest mistake, they probably wouldn't have had to go to prison or something like that, right? But I don't know that even city bicycles are subject to road laws. Huh? It's so scary that there are all these laws we don't even know about, don't you think? I'd better watch out myself. Oh, I remembered I have to do something. Bye. Okay. Flora, something terrible has happened. What should I do? What do you think is the best thing to do at times like this, Flora? I need your advice. Why are you panicking so much? The police are at my front door. I'm scared to open it, so I'm pretending that no one's home. What? You can't just pretend to not be there when the police are at your door. I'm pretty sure that's illegal. If you didn't do anything, there's no reason to be scared of the police, so why don't you just open the door and see what they want from you? No, I'm not going to open the door. Why not? Because you did something and that's why you're hiding from the police? Huh? What are you talking about? I didn't do anything to deserve being locked up. Do you suspect me of being a criminal or something? I never said that you did anything that would get you locked up. And if there's nothing suspicious about you, then there's no need to hide from the police, is there? I mean, I didn't mean it like that. It's just that... If that's the case, then you should just open the door and talk to them, right? But that's... I can't, all right? It's hard to explain. You panicked at the sight of the police, and so without even thinking, texted me asking for help, even though it will only make things worse. Did I get that right? I think the best thing for you to do right now is to just accept that we all know about what you did now. What are you talking about? You're not making any sense. Hey, Anita, don't you realize that you messed up yesterday during our conversation? Huh? What do you mean I messed up? When I was telling you about the bicycle accident Mr. Tor's son got into, I only said that a bicycle crashed into his son, right? But for some reason, you knew what type of bicycle crashed into him, saying something about how it was so scary that even city bicycles are subject to road laws. Up until then, you seemed to know nothing about the accident, but for some reason you knew the type of bike that crashed into Mr. Tor's son. Seriously? I thought it was strange how you seemed to be so panicked about the accident at first, when you thought it was my son and not Mr. Tor's son that was hospitalized. You suspected me from the start? Well, it's not like all this proves with certainty that you're the one who crashed into Mr. Tor's son and fled the scene. All I did was tell Mr. Tor, the victim's father, about my suspicions. Why did you do that? What, did you think I would just stand by and let you get away with this? Oh, and by the way, it's not certain that it was me that caused the police to come to your house like this. There's a possibility that you were suspected of being the culprit from the start and that they were already investigating you. Why is that? Why would they suspect me? Do I really look that much like a criminal? That's not what I meant. Apparently, a lot of houses around here have security cameras watching the entrance to their house. So they might have already found evidence that you were the culprit before I told Mr. Tor anything. Security cameras? Yes, you only moved here 1 year ago, so maybe you didn't know, but this area was once terrorized by multiple thefts a few years ago. Theft? Yeah. After that, everyone learned a lesson, and they made contracts with security companies and set security cameras and stuff. So you know what that means, right? Hold on. So you're saying that I was caught on a security camera? I don't know for sure, but surely the police around here know how a lot of people have security cameras in this area. And so they probably asked them to cooperate by providing footage. Oh, but it's just a possibility, all right? No way. This can't be happening. Anita, what's wrong? They found out. They know I did it. To think that it was Mr. Tor's son as well. Anita, are you seriously just realizing this now? But I even got rid of the evidence and threw away my city bike. I thought that they wouldn't have anything to tie me to the accident. What? And they still found out? How is that even possible? Besides, it's that baseball hat of theirs that's the problem. He was wearing the same hat as your son's, which is why I thought it was him when I ran into him. But it had to be Mr. Tor's son of all people. I shouldn't have texted you that day. This never would have happened. Anita, do you realize that you're basically telling me that you ran into Mr. Tor's son on purpose because you thought he was my son? What are you trying to do confessing your crimes to me like this? What do you want me to do about it? You think I'm going to help you or something? Huh? No, it's just that... You were careful enough to get rid of the evidence by throwing away your city bicycle. But for someone that goes that far, you're pretty scatterbrained, Anita. Maybe if you were a bit less stupid, you would have made a better thief. No, that's not what I meant when I said that I didn't mean that I purposefully ran into Mr. Tor's son because I thought he was your son. You're misunderstanding. I'm going to tell the police, okay? No, don't! My punishment is just going to get worse if you tell them. Apparently, the police knew from the start that she was actually home and just pretending to not be there. Anita tried to flee from the back door, but they were already waiting for her there and captured her. Apparently, she was arrested without even undergoing an investigation first. Oh, and the city bicycle that she disposed of was apparently stolen as well. After a bit more investigation, the police found out that she's guilty of several such petty crimes, and so Anita was locked away behind bars. Anita's husband, on the other hand, went to all the families that Anita had caused trouble for and apologized, and after that, he divorced Anita and moved, bringing their children with him. Anita's parents fled without saying a word, ashamed at what their daughter had done. So, when Anita finally got out of prison, she had nowhere left to go. And since she still had to pay for several alimonies and hospitalization bills and stuff, she was hardly free, even though she just got out of prison.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Grandma, I hope that this is your number. Are you there? It's me. It's Maya, your granddaughter.
Oh, Maya. What a surprise to hear from you, my sweet grandchild. How are you? Oh, my, would you look at that? It seems that you've got a smartphone now. You're growing up so fast.
Yes, I've got a phone now. My mom objected to me getting it, though. She says that it's too early for a 10-year-old to have a phone and that I don't really need one. Dad told me to keep it a secret from her. He said that it didn't matter because I actually do need it in case something happens.
I see what you mean, dear. I will tell you also to listen to your father. He's definitely right about that. It's best to have a phone with you at all times, especially with your father being away from home so often. He's working away from home a lot, isn't he? Right? If you need to get in contact with anyone and you can't reach your mom or dad in a hurry, you tell your old grandma, okay? Please contact me if you need anything, okay, Maya?
Okay, Grandma, I will do that. You're very sweet to me. I better go, Grandma. Mom just got home. I better hide this phone somewhere. I will talk to you later. Have a nice rest of your day, Grandma. Love you.
Yes, you better go, my dear. Talk to you later, my dear Maya. Sending lots of love to you. Say hi to your dad for me.
Hey Valerie, it's Candace. I need to ask you a big favor, but I'm sure you'll be able to do it. I'm coming by to drop off Maya and Melanie over to yours, and they'll stay with you. If I could leave them with you to take care of them until tomorrow night, that would be greatly appreciated.
I'm sorry, what? You want me to take care of them until tomorrow night? What's going on? Has something happened?
I know this is all very sudden and might be a bit of an inconvenience for you. I just really need this favor, okay? My friend invited me on a trip and I just couldn't refuse them. I really need someone to look after the kids. You live close by and it would only be until tomorrow night.
And you intend to depart at this time of night? What time do you call this? The kids should be in bed at this time and you're leaving them now?
Look, my friend is quite spontaneous, so I personally don't find leaving at this time unusual. I can't just say no to a trip like this. It's urgent. My husband is on a business trip overseas, so you're the only one who can take care of the kids. It won't be for that long, I promise. Well, I've got to get going now, so thank you in advance for looking after the girls.
Just hold up, Candace. You can't just leave in such a hurry. I'm not at my house right now either.
I'm sorry, what? What do you mean you're not at home? You're a homebody? You're always at home. Why aren't you there?
I've been at my husband's parents' house since this morning. I've been looking after them since they're so old now. That's why I'm not at my house right now.
What? No way. So you're really not at home? Well, that's not good now, is it? What am I supposed to do? This is giving me so much trouble already. Why is this happening right now? It's so inconvenient.
Why can't you leave the girls at your parents' house? Don't they live pretty close to here? They're in the next town, so it's not so far away from you to take the girls there. Why don't you ask them whilst you're on your way to your trip?
I don't really want to ask them when I can ask you. It's not a good idea to send the girls there. What am I supposed to do if I can't give the girls to you?
Well, if that doesn't work for you, or you refuse to do that, then maybe you'll just have to give up on going away, because it's not the best time to leave your kids anyways.
But I really need to leave for this trip. I need you to look after the girls. My friend really needs me right now. It's kind of urgent. This is really starting to be a pain in the backside. Is there no way you can take the girls?
I don't know what else to tell you, Candace. I'm sorry, but that's the way things go sometimes. Your friend is going to have to go on the trip by themselves. Also, please don't leave Maya in charge of looking after the house and her little sister. She's not old enough, and you're their mother. You need to take care of them. Don't even think about leaving them alone by themselves.
But I really need to go with my friend. I can't help the situation I'm in. What can I do now? I guess I'll need to do what must be done.
Maya, my dear, are you there? Are you doing all right? I really hope that your mother is still in the house with you. Maybe she's still there? If you can't find your mother, you need to reply to me, okay? I'm a little worried about the situation. If you get into any trouble at all, you can contact me, okay? No matter what time of the night it is, please contact me, okay, sweetie? You let me know when you get my message. I love you, my dear.
Grandma? Grandma, are you there? Please reply. I really need to talk to you. I'm sorry it's so late, but I really need to speak with you.
Oh, Maya, you got back to me. Sweetie, are you all right? What's going on? Did something happen to your mother?
There's a fire in the backyard of our house. Grandma, please come and help us. We really need you.
Oh my God, what? There's a fire in your yard. How did that even happen, Maya?
Melanie, she said that she was feeling cold. She set fire to the fallen leaves that came off of our tree in the garden.
Oh my Lord, why would she do that? You need to call 911 immediately. The fire brigade need to come and put it out, otherwise it's going to take over your yard and could burn down your house.
Wait a second, I think everything is okay now. I found a bucket on the side of the house that had some water in it. So I poured it on the fire and I put it out right then and there.
I'm pretty sure it's out, so it's okay. But the fire did burn part of the lawn, so it will look brown in the daylight.
I see. It's all right, sweetheart. At least you've got the fire out. You got it out, that's the main thing. Thank God for that.
Yeah, I got it out. I should have been watching Melanie more closely. I'm not a very good big sister, am I?
Maya, that's not true. You're a great big sister. What I want to know is why was there a fire started in the first place? You do know that children shouldn't be playing with fire, right, sweetie?
I know that, Grandma. I should have known better. I'm really sorry. We won't do it again.
It's okay, but you just have to be more careful. You're with Melanie right now, right? You're both together at your house, is that right?
Yes, Melanie is with me outside in the yard. We're at home.
Okay, that's good to know. But I don't understand. What are you both doing in the garden at this time?
Well, the garden is full of fallen leaves. The tree has been losing a lot of its leaves, so we are tidying up the yard.
Maya, that's very sweet that you want to clean up the yard and help your parents by doing chores. But you do know what time it is, right, sweetie?
Of course I know what time it is, Grandma. It's dark, so it's nighttime. It's very dark, so I assume it's very late.
Yes, it's very late, my dear. Please go back inside the house and get ready for bed.
But we can't get inside, Grandma. That's why we're outside in the yard.
Huh? What do you mean you can't get inside? Is there something wrong with the door?
We can't get inside because the door is locked. We don't have a key to get inside the house.
I'm sorry, sweetie, I don't understand. What? You don't have a key? What happened to your mother? Where is she right now? Did something happen to her? Is she hurt? Is she inside the house and you just can't see her?
She's not here, Grandma. Mom still hasn't come home. I don't know what happened to her. I don't know where she is right now.
Your mother hasn't come home. I can't believe this. I told your mother to cancel the trip that her friend invited her on, and if she couldn't find someone to look after you and your sister...
I think I know what Mom did. I think she left the house after Melanie and I went to school this morning. Maybe. I'm not sure.
I'm sorry, what do you mean, dear? Are you saying that she left the house during the day whilst you both were at school? Not at nighttime?
Yeah, perhaps that's what happened. Melanie and I went to school during the day, so everything was fine. After school finished, we went home, but Mom wasn't there, so I found it a bit unusual. I couldn't get into the house because I don't have a key to unlock the front door. Every door is locked, so we can't get inside. So I went to find a public payphone to call Mom. I got in contact with her, but she was speaking really quickly. She said we should go to Grandma's house. Then she hung up the phone. But it didn't make sense what she said. I knew you were away, so we couldn't go to your house.
Oh, my dear. So you've both been in the garden this whole time, since you finished school?
Yeah, we've been outside for a while. We started to get cold, so that's why we tried to make a bonfire, and then it got out of control and I had to put it out.
Yeah, you said before that Melanie tried to start a fire to keep you both warm. What happened to the tools that you used to make the fire?
We know that Mom sometimes smokes outside when she's super stressed about things. I think Melanie knew that Mom kept a lighter on the deck, so she grabbed it to start a fire.
Oh my, really? And so that's how you were able to start a fire. This is unbelievable. I can't believe what I'm hearing. Oh, my sweet grandchildren, even though it's your garden, you can't stay outside forever, okay? I'm going to sort things out and see what we can do now. Just hang on a minute and I'll get back to you. I'll talk to you soon. Maya, my sweet grandchild, are you there? I've sorted out what we're going to do with the both of you. I just got in contact with your aunt, your dad's sister. Apparently she's going to come and pick you both up in 15 minutes. It might get colder outside as it's so late at night, so you and Melanie need to stay still and keep each other warm. Don't move around too much so that your aunt can find you easier. I told her where to go, so she should be able to find you.
Okay, Grandma. We'll stay put until Auntie arrives. Thank you for helping us out, Grandma.
No problem, my dear, but just one more thing. If something like this happens again, don't be afraid to contact me sooner, okay? It is much easier to contact someone earlier so that things can be done when there's more light and you're not getting cold outside, okay, sweetheart?
I'm sorry, Grandma. I just didn't want to disturb you because I know how busy you are looking after people. I thought I was able to look after us.
It's okay, Maya. None of this is your fault. You're not the one who should be in charge. It should be your mother, and she has let you down today. You're usually a good girl, Maya, so if the situation calls for it, you can call on me when there's trouble or you need help. I don't think you're being a nuisance at all. You're just trying to do what's right. When you and your little sister need help with anything, it is our duty as a grandmother and aunt to help you out. We aren't going to let you do things by yourselves.
That's very true, Grandma. You're so sweet and kind to us. Thank you so much for your help. We really appreciate it.
Candace, what the heck do you think you're up to? I can't believe what you did to your own children. You need to get back home immediately. I am so outraged by what you did.
Huh? What are you talking about? Oh, is this you, Valerie? Oh, my dear mother-in-law, hello. What's happening on this fine morning, huh? Oh, so you want me to come back? Well, it's a bit difficult to say when I'll be back right now, you see. I'm staying at a place that's more than 3 hours away from home, so I can't just, come back like that.
Do you even know what happened yesterday? Maya and Melanie couldn't get into the house when they came home from school. They didn't have a key to unlock the house, so they were stuck outside.
I'm sorry, what? I don't get what you mean. How could they have been locked outside?
Geez, Candace, think about it. What did you think would happen as a result of you just leaving without saying anything?
I have no idea what you're talking about, Valerie. I had to leave because my friend needed me.
You know what season it is right now, Candace. The temperature drops really quickly at nighttime. It was pretty cold outside for the girls who were waiting for their mother to come home. It looks like they were keeping warm by making a bonfire from the fallen leaves they've collected in the backyard.
I beg your pardon? The girls started a bonfire? Are you being serious right now?
I heard that they used the lighter that you usually leave on the wooden deck outside.
The lighter outside? I don't know anything about that. What are you talking about, Valerie? Are you making this up?
Why would I make this up? Are you kidding me, Candace? It looked like the fire burnt some of the lawn and it's all charred.
They actually started a fire? That's insane! Why would they do something like that for?
Apparently Maya was able to extinguish the fire with a bucket of water. With her quick thinking, she was able to save herself, her little sister, and leave the house intact.
I really can't believe this. I'm in complete shock. I can't believe something like this would happen. And I've hardly been away that long.
Candace, have you really got nothing else to say about why this happened in the first place?
Well, I'm just glad that the house didn't burn down. We could have lost all of our belongings and have nowhere to live. Anyways, when it comes to Maya and Melanie, I'll scold them when I get back home. They know not to play with fire.
Why would you even scold them when they were trying to keep warm? You'll do no such thing to my grandchildren.
What? Excuse me? What makes you think you can tell me how to discipline my own children, Valerie?
Candace, you basically lied to all of us, especially to me. When you asked me to look after Maya and Melanie, you had already left for your trip without getting them a proper carer. When Maya called you on a public payphone, you told her to go to my house and you just hung up on her. She knew that I wasn't there and didn't want to bother me. You just created something out of nothing and just ditched them. You contacted me right after that and asked me to take care of it. You just left the rest up to me when you knew I wasn't at home. Maya knew I wasn't home and that I was away taking care of other people. She didn't seem to want to rely on me because of that. That's why she took so long to get in touch with me.
But I don't get how this is my fault. I asked if you could take care of the girls. You were so close and I thought you would be back soon enough anyways.
They couldn't get inside, Candace, because you had locked the door behind you. Melanie couldn't stand being out in the freezing cold weather, so she tried to make a bonfire. I absolutely don't blame her for trying to do that because the girls could have gotten hypothermia, and she used the lighter that you used to smoke your dirty cigarettes with outside.
I don't know about what lighter you're talking about, Valerie. I don't smoke at all.
Luckily, Maya was able to deal with all of this in a calm manner. She was able to contact me about what was going on.
Okay. Where are the girls now then if they aren't at the house?
My daughter's husband is currently looking after them. They're inside in the warmth where they should be, not freezing to death outside. I'm also just finishing up some errands at my in-laws' house. I'm heading home shortly on the first plane that I can get out of here this morning.
Ah, so you weren't even in town. I see what's going on now. At least the girls are with family. If that's the case, I don't have to come home yet. I can still stay and have a good time with my friend.
What the heck, Candace? Are you serious? You're not even going to leave after everything that happened? Don't you realize that your girls could have died in the cold? Do you really think I'm going to tolerate this sort of nonsense from you? Do you realize how much of an unfit parent you're being right now?
Valerie, what are you talking about? I feel like you're just overreacting a little bit. The girls are in a warm house now, so what's the big deal?
I really can't believe what you're saying right now. For starters, there's a whole lot of suspicion about why you went on this trip with your friend.
Some suspicion? Well, what's so suspicious about going on a trip with a good friend? I'm allowed to do that sometimes, am I not?
So you going off in the middle of the day while your children are still at school and they come home to find the house locked up and their mother gone, that makes sense to you, does it? I'm sure that my son will have a fair idea about what's going on if I tell him what's happened. Don't you think I haven't found out what you're doing, Candace?
Excuse me? What are you saying? What could you have possibly have on me? Wait, no way. My husband can't know what's going on if he isn't here, right? Surely you don't know anything about what's going on. How can an old bag like you find out what I'm doing? Valerie, you need to answer me right now. Something terrible has happened. My life is completely ruined. Did you find out that I had a boyfriend? Apparently my husband knows everything about him. I thought I had it well hidden. He's breaking up with me. And now he's divorcing me for it. How could he do this to me when I was trying to keep my boyfriend out of sight? I thought nobody knew.
Candace, you do realize that it's not my fault that you both broke up, right?
What do you mean? How else could he have found out? Aren't you the one who told him?
Well, my son is very smart, Candace. He realized what was happening for himself. I didn't have to tell him. Once he knew it was for certain that you were cheating behind his back, he came to me for advice.
What do you mean? He actually knew what I was doing? And then he came to you about it?
He knew quite a bit about the other man, Candace. Is the man in question a husband of one of your friends from your school days? It seems to be that these cheating dates are a daily occurrence for you. There was an investigation done with the credit bureau as my son didn't know what was going on with the credit cards you use. The report came back and it said you were going away on trips often. You were really involved with this other man, weren't you?
What? He actually used the credit bureau to track what I was doing.
Just as I was thinking of going on a counterattack the next day after my son's business trip ended, then the other day a cheating scandal was carried out by you. It seemed like this was a sudden decision and you were annoyed that my response was delaying you from going, and so you just left Maya and Melanie alone just like that. My son and I will not tolerate this. Divorce is just a natural thing that comes after discovering an affair.
But Valerie, he can't just do this to me. You can't do this to me. Please give me back custody of my children. I'm their mother. At least, can you please give me back Maya or Melanie?
Wow, you're quite persistent, Candace. It seems that your boyfriend has already paid the alimony and apologized for his part in all of this.
This is far from being fair. Even just alimony costs me a lot of money. I can't believe I have to pay for child support as well. This is an absolute scam.
Well, I guess you won't survive unless you get a steady job to pay what you owe.
But I've only been a housewife since I got married. Now
Hey, I think there's a lot of people your age who are working.
What? Please don't mix this whole thing up with a working woman.
Okay, well, what about the wife of the other man then, huh?
Huh? What about her?
I heard that she's got the custody of their child.
What's that got to do with this?
Look, I'm not saying that housewives are bad, but if you're, like, I don't want to work, so I'll be a stay-at-home mom. Well, that's on you for not having money. I guess the moment you get divorced, you'll just have to pay for your choices.
What? I don't understand.
I thought there wouldn't be a future for me, but at least now it has some meaning in terms of watching you fall.
Excuse me, what does that mean?
It's okay, I don't expect you to understand, Candace, just for others involved.
I'm confused. What? Anyways, there's still been no sign of divorce.
Oh, think again. I just got a message from my son saying that he's filed for divorce from you.
No way. Are you kidding me?
Maybe you thought you were in the clear as it's Saturday and the courthouse might be closed, right?
Well, usually they are, aren't they?
Divorce papers can be received by courts on any day of the year and any time of day.
Is that true? It can't be, surely. I was thinking all weekend about how I could somehow get him to forgive me for what I did. I've made such a big mistake.
Even after the divorce, Candace was apparently still staying in the apartment where her family once lived. She believed that she could keep the room since that was what she wanted in the separation agreement. It seemed like she was thinking of selling the room to pay for her alimony and child support. But she was then informed that the rental property couldn't be sold. She said that she couldn't divide the assets to get what she wanted. It seems that she had no understanding of the types of real estate, and when she learned of this reality, she screamed. Her parents were ashamed of their daughter's ignorance and decided to take over the lump sum payment of alimony and child support from their retirement funds. She was told that she was never to be married again, and so the partner broke up with her. Now she's been thrown into a factory to work by a relative. She spends her days working with tears in her eyes, paying off the debts that she owes her parents.
Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.
Hey Greg, why are you coming here looking like that? You know that today is the day of our class reunion, right?
Huh? Who is this?
This is Jan Witherton.
Jan Witherton?
Well, this isn't my parents' last name, so I'm sure you won't know who I am. Jan Smith.
Oh, Jan Smith, huh? It's been a very long time.
But I'm married now, so you can call me by my new last name, Witherton.
So if you're talking to me right now after such a long time, that must mean you're here right now at the reunion as well, right?
I am, you idiot.
Then you shouldn't have to be texting me right now, right? You can come over to me and talk in person.
The reason I'm texting you right now is because I don't want to come over to you.
Huh?
Are you going to tell me that old heap of garbage truck you showed up in today is yours?
That's right, but what does that have to do with anything?
Are you serious? My God. I cannot believe you'd show up to your class reunion in a truck like that, still wearing your raggedy work clothes.
So that's what all of this is about. Well, before the reunion started, I had a job come up that I needed to be at, so there was no time for me to get changed after my work was done.
You didn't change your clothes because you're too poor to have proper clothing, right?
What?
If I remember correctly, your house is filled with all sorts of old and disgusting furniture because your parents could never afford to get anything new.
Now that you're saying that again, it reminds me of how often you picked on me back in school because of my house.
Well, come on. Did you see your place? You've been living in that same place ever since we all started elementary school, and I was certain that house would cave in on itself at some point before we all graduated high school.
Well, right now my older brother and his wife have that house, and I'm living downtown near the bus station. Don't you remember back when we all finished elementary school, I moved into a new place with my family? We ended up getting a house downtown near the bus station where there was a shop on the first floor and then our house was on the second floor. Well, my parents opened that secondhand furniture store on the first floor when we moved in.
So that's what happened to that old house.
Since my parents run the place on the first floor of the building, and since I have a job of my own, I have no desire to work for them.
I see. So your parents must have seen just how much of a useless idiot you really are and made sure not to let you work in that store with them, right?
That's not the reason for it at all. I'm just saying that I have wants of my own, and one of those is to work a different kind of job than that.
So in other words, what you're saying is that you failed to do the job they asked you to do, and so now you're left doing some stupid work that you want to do. I totally get it now. Such a great feeling, right?
So, no matter what I try and say about myself, you seem to only want to make it seem as though I'm a failure.
And another thing, it's starting to smell like sweat in here now. It must be a pretty rough life having to work hard for such little income every day, right? I guess life for you is totally different from the life a CEO's wife like me gets to live.
You're the wife of a CEO? So your husband runs a company somewhere and you're able to live easily as his wife?
That's it. And that really expensive-looking car parked out front is the car that my husband bought for me. It must be crazy to see someone like me living their life on easy mode when you're stuck having to drive a run-down truck like that and work every day in those stinky clothes as a poor person.
I can tell that you have no idea what being poor is really like, and that's fine. But I hold a lot of respect for the job I do, and I feel as though the life I have right now doesn't make me a poor person in any way.
Really? Even though you just showed up to your class reunion in sweaty work clothes and a falling-apart pickup truck?
I only came here today in my work clothes and that truck because I got a job last minute that I needed to go help with. So that has nothing to do with the man I've become. And after I'd finished that job, I didn't have time to head all the way back home to get changed, so that's why I came dressed in my work clothes and everything. And as for the truck and these clothes, they're all from my job.
Oh, come on now. What kind of work are you helping with that requires you to have that crappy truck and such smelly clothes?
Near the bus station downtown, there's that produce store that happens to be busy every day, right? Well, currently, a friend of mine who's a farmer isn't doing so well, so I went out to his farm to grab the produce he planned to sell today and drove it into town to be placed in that store before coming here. The store is on the way, so I had no problem doing that for him.
You can tell me any kind of excuse you'd like.
Jan, if all you plan to do is make poor comments about me due to your delusions all day, do you mind just shutting up?
Huh? Delusions?
I really want to put down my phone now so that I can get back to talking with my old friends, so this is where we'll be ending things.
Who cares what you want, you moneyless loser? You're the most disgusting person I've ever come across. What was up with that? You had wanted time to talk to all your old friends today, but now you're sneaking out? Maybe after talking to everyone for a bit, they started to realize just how much of a moneyless loser you really are, and so you snuck away in embarrassment? Well, it's totally okay for you to not come to the after party, all right? If a loser like you had to come to a party with all of us in those sweaty clothes of yours, well, you get what I'm trying to say, right?
Well, actually, the only reason I had to leave is that I have some more work to get done now, and so I had no other choice. But if you still want to doubt what I'm saying, go ahead and ask some of the people I was talking to, and they'll say the same thing.
You actually think I'm going to go check on what's happened to you? I do not have the time to go out asking why a poor person like you had to leave the party.
That's right, but now that we both understand one another, can you stop texting me about this?
Huh?
I am a bit jealous that you get to be the wife of a CEO and all that, but don't think that means I care to talk with you.
And you should be jealous. I'm like a celebrity to all of you guys. Unlike a moneyless loser like you, I live in a completely different world filled with fancy and gorgeous things.
And a true celebrity would never care to talk with me the way you are now.
Excuse me?
To tell it to you straight, you're being indecent.
What the hell did you just say?
Do you really think you have it in you to be the wife of a CEO? Because a true wife of one would be helping him with his company rather than using his image to boost your own. Let's put it this way, if I was your husband and I was a CEO and all you did as my wife was spend my money and make fun of others, then I'd probably say that I don't need you as my wife anymore.
Don't need me?
That's right, don't need ya. Right. Now that we're talking about your husband and his job as a CEO, Can you go ahead and tell him that he is in debt $7 million to all of his customers and that those relations will be halted for the time being?
Huh? $7 million?
Of course, he'll be told by other companies as well here soon, but it would be nice of you as his wife to inform him of all this.
Is this like a downturn?
In your case, you're much like your husband's employees, where you're given money by him like a salary every month, right? Well, since your income is on the line much like the rest of your husband's employees, it'd be best that you start to understand the state of his company a bit more.
Greg! What the hell does this mean? How are you the #1 customer to my husband's company?
So you finally talked with your husband about this?
I sure the hell have! Just when I thought you were trying to play games with me by saying all of that about my husband, I went and asked him myself to see what was going on.
So you thought that I was just messing around then?
I just thought that you were trying to make up for losing to me and tried to lie about my husband's job. But when I went to my husband with all of this, he turned ghost white. He told me that a project he'd been working on worth $7 million had started to go downhill.
And as for that project, he had come to my company asking for us to help take part in it to come out with a success. And at first I thought that the partnership would be good for us and that we'd just have to work with his company like any other project had been. But when I saw the information regarding the project from him, well, let's just say that what he had been wanting was unobtainable and that he was way in over his head.
It was that bad then?
Yes. He didn't even have any plans yet for the marketing side of the project, and that alone showed me that he had no faith in even getting this project to go anywhere. And so that's why I ended up saying no to his offer of us working together. But before I even had the chance to give him my answer, he already had his company working on the project and everything, thinking I'd join in. This should be common sense for anyone, but when someone already starts working on something without even getting notice of their partner's will to work alongside them or not, it's not a good sign for things to come. So, after seeing all of this from your husband and his company, I lost faith in doing any more work with him, and so I canceled all projects that were already ongoing with his company and will no longer be a customer of his. And I made sure to have that notice sent to his company the other day.
What the hell? So this is what ended up happening?
I'll have you know on a personal level that your husband has got guts for jumping on a project like that without overthinking things. But when it comes to business, you can't be too hasty like that. It can spell doom for any company when they aren't quite ready yet. And that's why I'd no longer like to do business with him and his company.
What the hell does he think he's doing? Hey, Greg. You guys, did you all move out of that house?
Huh? Oh, geez, it's you again, Mrs. Jan Witherton. It's been, what, half a year now since we last chatted?
It's Smith again.
Huh?
I divorced that man today. His company ended up going bankrupt, so I made sure that he paid for doing something so selfish as losing his company while married to me.
Okay.
So you guys moved out of that house?
Why are you asking me something like that?
I know that back in elementary school your family moved downtown and opened up that used furniture store near the station, but now it's gone and has been turned into an apartment building.
Well, my parents moved their store, and when they did that, they sold that place to a housing company. Well, I didn't know they were going to tear that place down and turn it into an apartment building, though, so that's news to my ears. Does this mean that you went to our old house and tried looking for me?
I sure did, and I thought that it would still be your house, and that's why I came all the way over here looking for you. If you were going to move out of there, you need to tell me that stuff.
Why is it important for me to tell you when I'm moving, when you and I have little relation to one another? It's not even like you're close to my parents either.
Well, I'm planning on getting married to you soon, so you know better than to leave me in the dark like this.
Huh?
It looks like a lonely loser like you is finally going to have your chance at getting a wife, right? And not only is this chance rare for you, but it's even more rare considering I'm like the diamond of women, and I'm willing to marry you now. So make sure to treat me right, okay?
No, please tell me you're not being serious right now.
Hey, about your current address.
I'm already married to another woman right now.
Huh?
I've been married to one of my best friends for a while now, and we've already had 3 kids together.
You're kidding. That's a freaking lie, right? If you're already married, then what's going to happen to me? I thought that even after divorcing someone like my ex, I'd still have you to fall back on.
Wait. Why did you think that would be the case? There was never a moment between us where you thought you could become my wife, right?
There was, though. Back in middle school, you had a crush on me.
I absolutely did not, but...
Huh? When you and I were in the same classes in 8th grade, you were always looking over at me like you wanted me in every way.
That was me looking at the girl sitting next to you, who's now currently my wife.
What?
So that's probably why you thought I was looking at you like that back then. And back then you knew about me dating her, right?
Wait, you're joking, right? No way. You're telling me that you are into that nerdy little freak of a girl?
Well, rather than calling her a nerdy freak, you can call her something like a nerdy and quirky girl.
Huh? You're telling me that a freak like her made you fall in love with her more than a goddess like me? You divorce her this instant and come and marry me.
Screw you.
Marry me right now. Where the hell are you living right now? Greg, marry me. Tell me where you live.
Shut up already.
What?
I'm blocking you now.
Wait a goddamn second.
Bye-bye.
You're supposed to marry me.
Right before blocking things with Jan, she made it seem as though I'd really want to marry her. However, what I learned later is that the previous marriage she had with her CEO husband was actually made possible by her stealing him from her younger sister years ago, and that led to her whole family cutting ties to her. And so, because of that, after leaving her CEO husband, she would have nowhere left to go home to. And that's why she was so hell-bent on marrying me. And only a few days after I blocked her, she started to cause a disturbance at the front desk of my office, saying she needed to talk to me and would start tearing her way into my office if they didn't let her in. But before she could do anything to get to me or harm any of my employees, my security was on her like dogs, and they took her away in one of their cars to the nearest police station to have her turned in for trespassing. And ever since she was taken into custody by the police, things have been calm and peaceful for me. However, a couple days after that, I heard more news about her and her ex-husband, and it became clear to me that she never left her husband due to his company going bankrupt. Rather, he had divorced her because she'd been cheating on him with another man from our class reunion. So as of right now, Jan is working her butt off at multiple different jobs trying to make money to pay for her own apartment as well as money to pay off the settlement her ex asked for. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.